We're live. Painkiller Ready, episode 281 with our guest, Tucker.
Yeah. Woo! Welcome aboard, everyone. We have several sponsors this week. I want to thank them all from Audible, Tracker, MeUndies, 1-800-Flowers, Trunk Club, Loot Crate, and, of course, Wendy's. And speaking of Wendy's, let's see here. Right now, I'm not talking to everyone listening. I'm just talking to you. That's because Wendy's jalapeno fresco spicy chicken sandwich is so flavorful and so hot, it's not for everyone. It's just for you. We tried it, and we love it. It's made from Colby Jack cheese, fresh jalapenos, ghost pepper sauce, and a toasted jalapeno bun. And for those that really want to turn up the heat, you can check it out over at your local Wendy's with those delicious ghost pepper fries as well. I couldn't handle the ghost pepper fries in conjunction with the spicy sandwich, so maybe separately. The jalapeno fresco spicy chicken sandwich is only available for a limited time at participating Wendy's, so go and get yours today.
It's good stuff.
We gotta go get.
I've had it. It is
so hot,
really?
so good.
Okay, we'll have to go try it.
It
Sounds pretty tasty.
I feel like Wendy's took a risk because it's hotter than you'd find it like typical chains of restaurants.
They're pioneers, Wendy's. Going places McDonald's and others wouldn't dare go. McDonald's tried it. They said, no, people couldn't handle this. And Wendy's said, give them a shot. And that's what they did. They gave everyone the opportunity to have a sandwich. It doesn't just pander to the masses. So get out there and get yourself this sandwich. Enjoy it. Two thumbs up.
So Hope is only here for the very start of the show.
I gotta study for APUS tomorrow anyways.
A push, I guess. But yeah, like, I don't know. The last couple weeks we've been going through like her exes, and the stories were hilarious to me. There's enough of them.
It's taken you weeks.
It happens here and there. It was like, oh yeah, this happened, that happened.
Just collecting the story over a time of weeks.
I guess,
okay.
Like putting together, like, oh gosh, it's
a program of stories.
She's left the campsite a wreck. So, anyway, the whole campsite rule. You familiar with this?
I have heard it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know that rule.
Can you explain the campsite rule to
the
us?
campfire rule or campsite rule is that like when you date someone, you need to leave it at least as good as you found it.
And seeing as how the campsite was left a wreck in some of my relationships, the ones I'm going to be sharing today are the ones that it was not my fault. Okay?
I mean, that just means as long as you only prey on campsites that were just visited by bears, you're always coming out on top, right?
I mean,
like, just pick the really awful campsites, and you don't have to do any maintenance.
Sure.
Right? Just short-term, fun campsites is what I'm saying.
This has been my strategy for many years. It's a wreck when you get there. It doesn't matter how you leave there.
You don't go spend 6 years at the same campsite. You're a crazy person. You go spend a couple nights, and then you go find a new camping spot.
Yeah, you find the really ruined campsites, and you take advantage of those, and you just leave them just as ruined. I like your style.
Well, I'm 17,
there's a way to do it.
So I think I shouldn't follow that advice.
No,
you're not even 17.
I turned 17 in a couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's a worthless birthday. So
That's true. 16 I could
yes,
drive, 18 I'm an adult.
literally
Well,
can
you
do
You can
nothing.
go to R-rated
17,
movies
I'm the
by
dancing
yourself.
queen.
No, congrats.
Young and sweet, only 17.
So anyway,
Sorry.
Yeah.
what was the one we were just talking about?
We were talking about Cancer Kid.
Yeah.
So, back last year, I dated this guy, and we had been talking for a little bit. It was all fun and games, and he goes, before he leaves for his 2-week spring break, which I'm still jealous that he had a 2-week spring break, he told me that he went to the doctors and they were worried about something on one of his lymph nodes. And I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? I was so worried because actually I kind of
well, he's not mono boy, so I think we can skip to the cancer part, right?
Yeah, right.
Cancer boy. Is
Is
that what he has?
That is the boy. Same boy.
Yeah.
There was no mono boy. No. But he went off and for a couple weeks, and then when he came back, like we had been texting this entire time too. He came back and he was right about to come back to school, and he was like, "Hey, I don't really know if I can handle the pressure of having like a girlfriend and school stuff and health issues because
Cancer.
basically because he had cancer."
Yeah,
And
he had cancer. Let's not gloss over this.
Why not just go out with him for a while? It's got a
because
built-in
he didn't
expiration
have
date.
cancer.
That's the right way to go about it.
Because he
Yeah.
was faking having cancer to get out of breaking up with me. And I honestly thought that this kid was sick.
Well, no. You got it backwards. He faked having cancer so that he could break up with you.
Yeah, he didn't try and get out of it. He
didn't fake breaking up with you. He actually did it.
He did it in one of the worst way possible.
He's like, look, my
we'll
wife
explore the
likes
other
us.
bad ways that I've been broken up with a little bit. But
Why not just pick an easier thing than cancer?
I know, right?
Like, how do you even follow through with that lie? Like,
This
that
was a
one kinda
long
stopped.
distance relationship, right?
No.
Oh no, he's
Not
local.
like you can
Yeah,
catch
he
it
lived in
anyway.
like the other town over.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Long distance for you with no car.
Yeah, right.
Not at the same
You
school.
gotta
long
chalk it up
distance.
over
I mean,
this-
out of sight is long distance for you.
Yeah,
That's what I want to
Trek.
talk about. I want to talk about the shocking revelation that you didn't want a car immediately. You didn't want
didn't
wheels to
set this up.
navigate the fucking planet, to go anywhere and everywhere you could possibly go anytime you want. Like, if there's an emergency, fuck it. Not only do I have an ability to get my family members and anyone I know to the hospital, I have a 3,000-pound killing machine that I could crush zombies with.
you
that
have
I'm now
a
licensed to operate.
3,000-pound
The
killing
car is not
machine
just
that could kill
transportation, it's
everyone
life.
in your car and around your car. That is why I didn't immediately get a car.
Got to
It's
do
like
it
sounds
someone
way
in
too
the
responsible.
1820s trying
Immediately.
to convince everyone that they didn't need a horse, that, carriages were just a luxury item. Like, of course you need it. You need it to
What
get
do you-
anywhere.
And that's why I'm getting it over the summer.
You're like that guy who doesn't wear shoes. He just wants to toughen his feet up. He's like, mana isn't supposed to wear shoes. Yeah,
That's
maybe not, but it's
exactly
still a
what
really
you're
good idea
doing.
to get started.
I wear
How
shoes.
is that exactly what he's doing?
He's
Not
like, I'm just gonna drive this big killing machine around. I don't need to do anything or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I'm really worried. I want to make sure that I'm more mature and more able to handle all the situations that I come across in driving.
If you're worried about how mature you are, you're mature enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that doesn't make sense.
If you have those thoughts, then you've gotten there. I promise. You're
just need to
there.
You just need to get in your first accident. Just put her in a beater and drive into a wall and experience
it's
that
fun.
shock and then you're
It's so much
okay,
fun.
go
I
to a
love getting
derby.
big cars. I've done it a lot. I often have access to cars that are like beaters, and I'm gonna blow up anyway. I'll
yeah.
fucking ram all kinds of shit. I can't even talk about the shit I've rammed with cars. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. Just to feel what it feels like to
Then
have a little
maybe
wreck,
you're
you know.
not mature enough to be having the responsibility of driving.
If I
Legally,
were
he
mature,
is.
I would be living in a place like this 24/7, not just for the weekend. Maturity isn't necessarily a good thing. And maturity is not always a good thing. There's no
When
reason. And what is
handling
maturity
something-
really?
Where
Is
is
it
maturity
losing-
bad?
Is it forgetting the joys
you're
of
a
life
pedophile.
that we achieved every day? I want to be mature if that's what it means.
All right then.
I was
Wait,
just saying
wait,
a
Do we
situation
want
in
to
which
hear more
a
stories, or do
No,
I
you-
need to leave?
You go study for A
You
push.
asked a group that wouldn't like that, and I gave you one. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just happy that somebody faked cancer to get out of a relationship with somebody. That's not just a story that was told online and it was this
Yeah.
totally happened. No, this one actually happened.
I didn't say how I found out. So the reason why I found out he didn't actually have anything wrong with him was a few months later, someone else that he was friends with,
It's
that I
alive.
didn't even like, said, oh yeah, he was talking about at summer camp about how he faked cancer to get out of dating you.
Shit. Not only did
Yo.
he do it, he told people about it. And
You know what we should do?
Damn!
Do you have his phone number? We could put it out
Yeah.
there.
No.
No, you
It's
can't
a service
put
we offer.
No,
his
I'm
phone
just...
number
You
out
know,
there.
old school painkiller already would have got 9,000 retweets on his phone number.
Old school painkiller already had a title called Rape Squad Killers.
Damn
That is
straight.
Where's this now?
That was
See,
for
I'm-
me, even. I still don't understand that.
Yeah.
I should have went back at some point and watched the clip. Honestly, never took the time. I have no idea what that means. I don't know.
All right, Hobie, you go study.
Painkiller
Okay.
already does not condone rape of any kind.
No, or squads of any
Thanks,
kind, nor killers. 0 for 3.
that's the
You
name
guys-
of our softball team.
Our softball team. Softball teams have some fucked up names.
That's what I
Really?
said. In the prank phone call.
Baby seal clubbers. My favorite.
So
Baby
I guess
seal
for
covers.
Taylor.
I guess if you don't.
I was just on the softball team name thing. Do you have any cool hockey? Do you played hockey? Did anyone have cool names?
I
Did we do this already?
I think it's more men's league teams and like goofing on teams that let you have silly names because you can't have like Boner Patrol coming out to play a bunch of 6-year-olds and like Minimite. You have to have like the Serpents versus the Alligators or something. Like you can't be getting too out there with it. But men's league,
I played for the Buffalo Wings, but some of the teams we played against the Ice Holes, and Only Here for the Beer. Those are some of my favorites.
Only Here for the Beer.
Only Here for the Beer seems to be the most accurate of all those kinds of leagues and whatnot. It's getting to the point where like a bunch of my friends ask me like, "Hey, do you wanna come play softball with us in a league every Sunday?" And I was like, "No, that doesn't sound like fun. I don't like softball." And they're like, "Well, honestly, it's more just gonna be us drinking at a field, slowly playing." One of my friends doesn't even want to play, and so he got himself one of the T-shirts, assigned himself as chief batting coach, and he's just gonna sit and get tanked every single game on the
That's the way to do it.
He's like, glug 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 glug. They're like, all right, good one, boss. All right. So I guess I should tell anybody who's didn't watch PKN why I'm here. Maybe should I tell the whole awful story?
Well,
like
start with
version, or maybe.
And eventually when you were forced to give everything to her, and then eventually we'll turn back around to why you have a second mattress.
Yeah.
I'm
and before he starts this story, he's not gay.
Yet.
Just setting it up.
What kind of red herring was that? I was trying to.
Right?
That was a good pause.
I was trying to. I think Kyle knew that he had an awful breakup and that he lost all of his things, and so now he was in this. I thought he was going to be like, "Well, yeah, this is my dad's new place, surprise," or something like that.
I was going towards awful things happened, and we'll explain
What he saw me
this insane asylum
march over there, and he said, "Nuh-uh, threw a grenade."
I did not catch your drift. We would have done terribly in one of Chiz's 250 games or Painkiller 200, whatever that was.
Anyway, so explain why you're there, Kyle.
Yeah, so I'm in Los Angeles right now. I've got a small role in a movie, and so I'm out here. I was going to be out here for like 3 separate trips, but I just got a call like a little while ago that they need me on Monday when I was supposed to fly home on Saturday. So I'm going to be out here for a couple weeks. When I first got here, my driver picks me up, takes me to an Airbnb, and I thought, and Kitty thought, that this was going to be my own apartment, right? I'd have my own separate space. But so I meet this guy, Matt. Matt takes me upstairs, shows me the place. It's not bad. It's not the worst. There's and I'm quickly scanning the room, taking the measure of it. And I'm like, oh, fucking full computer desk with a gaming PC. I can see that, just by looking at the case, I can see that this will play my games. I can get on fucking Steam and have some fun. I see there's a projector with a pulled down screen. He's talking about that. He's like, your bedroom's back there, full kitchen over here. And I'm like, this isn't great, but like, it's not even as nice as like my very, very first apartment, but it's close to as nice as that. And I can deal with that. This will be okay. And then he's like, I'll be just down the hall if you need me. And just down the hall is like right there. Like, okay, yeah, you'll be right there, huh? Like 6 feet away. Because I'm sharing an apartment with a dude I don't fucking know, apparently. And I'm just like, I'm in my room, like, fucking texting, like, fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this. This isn't going to work. I'm going to fucking lose it. I can't deal with this. I get in there. The windows don't have glass on them. The windows don't have glass on them. There is a screen. There are 2 double windows, okay? Double windows on opposite ends of the room. They don't have glass, just screens. They have a shutter on the inside, but it's not a shutter like a modern shutter that would like ka-chunk and lock really securely, make a noise that let you know that, yeah, it's locked up and secure. And, oh, look, there's a key latch. I'm talking about 2 old planks of wood that go, and then there's one of those hooks that goes on. And the backs of them, to make them opaque, because I guess the termites ate them up or who knows what the fuck here, has construction paper stapled all over it so the sun won't shine through. Not kidding. All of the outlets are 2-prong outlets, no ground in the bottom middle. So that means that my cell phone thing won't plug in. My laptop can't charge. I basically don't have access to electricity unless I go way over in the corner where the one power thing is and use the one source of electricity that's available. But it's awkward. It's hanging up from a corner because there's guests. He's made the sound system some Sennheiser headphones that work wirelessly. I'm in there fucking texting frantically. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking stay here. This is not going to work. I'm not sharing a house with this dude on this tiny, gross bed. Like, no privacy. Like, the bathroom's gross with like mildew and mold stains everywhere, and like missing some of the things that you normally expect in a bathroom. Like, you know that little thing in the sink that prevents like a ring from going down the drain? That's gone. It's just a hole. And I'm sorry,
Does
but
that
I
ever
wanted
make you
one of
wonder,
those.
like when things that like that are missing? Like
What
that's not something that breaks.
Somebody
or
came in
gets
there was like,
misplaced.
aha!
It's like what someone had to take, like someone had to sit there and think, I'm gonna fucking steal this. I'm gonna steal this, and someone's not gonna have a drain stop. I've always thought about things like that don't make sense. Why?
I can't imagine. So
like they would be missing. Sorry.
So they apologize. No, you're fine. No, so they're like, oh, we're really sorry. We didn't know that it was gonna be like that. We didn't know that. We're gonna get you in a new place. So I call an Uber up. They come pick me up, and they're taking me to a hotel. They give me the address to a hotel, but I don't even say anything to this Mac guy. I swear, I pick my luggage up, walk straight through, hit the middle of his house, his tiny apartment. He was in his bedroom, hockey game, door cracked about, yay. And I just eased on out and never looked back. I guess they contacted him eventually and told him that I wouldn't be staying or something like that. But then they put me in this Korean hotel. And by Korean hotel, I mean owned, operated, and the security guard was Korean. All of the other guests are Korean. 85% of the TV channels are Korean. And I don't mean dubbed, not just Korean programming, but dubbed American programming, both. Or it's all Korean. The menu, like I tried to order room service, and it was in fucking Korean. I'm not even kidding. It was outrageous. And there were little things wrong with that place, just little things. But I was happy to stay there. They also gave me twin beds, which I know these are little things, but it's like, come on, just get it right. If I were booking it, it would be right. That's all I'm saying. So then I don't complain about that. I didn't. But that was only a one-night thing. They were like, oh, we're getting you a new Airbnb place. It's going to be pimp. And Kitty's coordinating with them and everything, and they send me a link, and I'm on set, my dressing room, sitting there looking at this thing, and I'm like, this is nice. This is nice. Big California king-size bed. You know, there's a nice living room. I get here. It's a slum hole, okay? You open the front door, and there's a long, narrow hallway of doors that lead to rooms like this. The bed is behind me. The living room's over there. There's not a television set. The heater is some sort of gas thing from the 70s. There is
a window unit right there. Yeah.
Keeping us cool over there. Whatever. In the other room, there's an electrical wire like hanging like in midair, and it's got a hairpin in there and some frayed wires. Like, I'm not sure if it's keeping the wires together or keeping them separate, but it's doing one or the other. And I feel like it is integral to not only my electrical power sources, but my survival. I feel like if something were to happen to that in the night, this whole fucking thing burns down. And these windows, I guess I'd go through the screen. I'm unarmed too. I don't like that. I got no gun. Like, all I got is there's an iron over there. And every now and then I look over at it and I'm like, yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get. I look at, I'm like, I could grab this boom, but it's so small that I feel like all I could do to a real angry guy who's coming for me is like make him really pissed off, like whip a little, and like I need something to like crush some skull or something. So I guess it's the iron.
I feel like
so
an iron
I
isn't
keep
gonna
it plugged
be that
in.
great.
Oh, it's
Unless
plugged in
that
all the
guy-
time though. Plugged
unless
in,
he
turn it
breaks
all
in
the way up.
unarmed.
I filled it up with water, so if they come, I'll steam them first, and they'll be like, ah, and then I can beat them with the hot iron. So I keep it over there simmering 24/7 in case there's any sort of security issue.
So
I
you're
don't
waking
like
up
it.
every 5-8 minutes, making sure you haven't burned down as you slowly
I
begin
haven't
to go
slept-
senile, dementia
I haven't-
setting in, no sleep. Everyone's a foe when you're standing there with a hot iron in your hand, looking at shadows, dancing on the wall at night. What was that?
I haven't slept in 3 days.
I like that you're
the
steaming them.
That's how I start. I steam them to throw them off balance, and then I beat them with the hot iron. And that's literally the close all the plates and silverware. I mean, I know these are little things, right? And you know, count your blessings, but all the plates are dirty, and I mean dirty and like a soap scum, gross. Someone used this and barely half-ass washed it kind of way. And I don't mean one plate was like this. I mean literally every plate, to the point where I had to like wash a dish when I wanted a dish. I don't know. I think at first I thought they were just fucking with me, but now I don't want to say anything bad about the people who are booking this stuff, but I really wish they were doing as good of a job as say Chiz would do. Because Chiz, like today, he went rattly tat, oh, look at this, 0.4 miles away, full apartment, $98. And I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah, I
Why
was
am I
gonna
not
say,
there?
It's not
I
hard
mean,
to
they
get
just
like
hopped on and binged it.
probably because
So-
it's not hard to get a good Airbnb for like cheaper than a hotel. So it's like, what are they paying? $20 a day?
Have you used them before, Tucker? Airbnb?
Yeah, even when I was in like every
Yeah.
E3,
What's your
you know.
experience?
So I've had only good experiences. Like it's like booking a hotel. You can see all the reviews. You can find people that have like good amenities, and they explain exactly what they want you to do with the property and all this stuff. It's like it's not rocket science. It's like booking any other hotel. They have pictures and ratings, and you choose one that's good. I don't. It's mystifying that they'd fuck up that bad twice.
Yeah, twice in less than a day. And it's just a sad-looking place you're sitting in, Kyle.
It's not
Like,
like
I
they're-
do feel like you just got divorced and lost everything, and this is the place that you
It's-
picked out for yourself.
All he
You know,
has is
your-
this
your
really
one bedroom.
fancy headboard. That's it. That's all he has to his name.
that
Oh,
story
you
that
think that's
Taylor
fancy?
was telling is
Look closely, motherfucker. That's an old mattress behind the headboard. The headboard stops where my finger is. See where my finger stops? That's the end of the headboard. This
You're
area up here, this
fucking
margin,
with me.
is an old fucking mattress stood up over there. And I swear to God, on the ad, it said, California king size bed. Nuff said. That's not a California king size bed. I've got a fucking king size, and it's bigger than this. I don't know
Well,
what this is.
It's like
no,
an
I take it back.
aggregate
It is a
claim.
king size.
Yeah, both mattresses put together are a
Yeah.
California king.
Guaranteed, you go back and check. There's a little asterisk there.
Must-
Yeah.
Some assembly required.
The California King's leaning against the wall. You know?
Bring your own California king. You know?
California King, for people don't know,
yeah.
is a little bit narrower and a little bit longer for your feet.
What? No, California king is stupidly wide. California
that's
king is
regular
the
king.
same.
Let's Google it. Let's see.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Can
No,
I give
this
you
is
a
Chiz's
update?
job. Chiz is the fact finder.
Let me
Yeah,
give you a little
California
update
king is like
on-
7 feet wide.
Yeah, it's extra wide. Let me give you a little update on what's going on with me right now. So that was the director just texting me. He says, just wanted to let you know in case no one had told you yet, you're not working tomorrow either. I've been here for fucking... Oh, this is so upsetting. Let me tell
Taylor,
you.
did you just discover that I'm right?
Woody is right. I lied. Yeah,
What? I
it's
wasn't
it's,
checking.
it's 4 inches longer than a regular king. So I
And
every
4
photo
inches
I've
narrower.
Seen, yeah, every photo I've seen of a California king is fucking wide. They just turn it sideways.
It's pretty
Sideways.
wide. Like I have a California King, and it's how I know we looked into this. And yeah, it's a little narrower, and 4 inches narrower, 4 inches longer. That's what it is.
All right, so
Well-
so look, if any of the people who I work for or with hear this, I'm not saying this in a disparaging way. I'm just a little frustrated because from the outset of this whole thing, the whole thing was that my time was very limited, and so I needed to really like get into LA and like film this thing real quick, and then get out, and then oh, you need me next week? I'll be there then for 2 days, and then pop out again, and I'll come in and I'll film my scenes. We'll have that all ready to go, and it'll lickety split happen.
You just
I've
needed a
been-
little respect for your time.
I got here on Tuesday, flew in on Tuesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Today's obviously Thursday. We all know the days of the week.
Thanks,
Tomorrow
Rebecca.
is Friday, of course.
Okay,
the
so
day after?
wait, what's after tomorrow?
Just stick with me here.
All
By
right.
the end of it, everyone will know all the days of the week. I know we've got a lot of viewers who may be
Super quick. It's important you
Yeah,
say this
but what
because the
about
video
the
goes
days
up
of
on
next-
Saturday, and people might not know like what these days.
It does get a lot of context here. So Friday is coming up tomorrow for as we record this, and they just let me know I will not be working tomorrow either. So got here Tuesday and I did nothing. Got here then Wednesday. I did my wardrobe and hair. Today's Thursday, and they didn't need me today because I think one of the other actors who was in my scene was unable to be there or something like that came up. I know there were some delays, and I didn't mind that a bit. I understood the delays and everything, and I didn't care that I sat there for 9 hours yesterday with a scar on my face and a wig on my head and didn't actually get on camera because I know that's the nature of the business. So tomorrow, also not going to need me. They don't work on the weekends, so that means I'm going to be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And then on Monday, the fucking 7th day of being here, I will start work.
Cross your fingers.
I would stroke out. Like there's very few things that get me super upset, but like my time is probably way up there with like the most valuable thing that I feel I have.
Here's the best. I mean, the best part is like I'm kind of like stranded here. Like I'm in what I consider my like I know most people probably wouldn't. I'm sure if you live in LA, you're laughing at me now. But I don't want to go out there and like hang out with the people who are outside my house right now.
You don't.
Like this
You
building.
don't even want to do that when you're back home, for the most
No.
part.
Like I don't like I wouldn't want to go meet some strange people back home either, like whether it's Atlanta or LA, but it's LA and that's a whole different flavor unto itself. There's some crazy shit going on outside this window right fucking now. There's hobos screaming and cholos like fucking doing. I saw a fucking cholo yesterday doing carburetor work in the street with his hazards on. He was blocking the road. He had it off. He wasn't even going fast. He was spraying carb cleaner and he had like a towel. He stuck it back in his pocket and he was just kind of looking around like he didn't give a fuck.
Dude, so when I worked at
What an
Cisco,
asshole.
and even before then, I noticed that some people are just really good at business travel, right? I would go on business travel, and like when I wasn't working, I'd like visit a bookstore, maybe catch a movie if I'm like really adventurous. Other people are coming back. They're like, I caught a foul ball at the Mariners game. Here's me jet skiing behind like.
Mariners.
Yeah, the guy, he came back, he was jet skiing behind a yacht. Like, I didn't even know you did that, right? It was like a 150-foot luxury yacht or something. I don't know why he was there, but he was jet skiing behind a ship. And, like, I don't know. He would just find amazing, other people are going like, yeah, you know what? I found a place on the weekend to go horseback riding, so we did that through the mountains near the coast or whatever. And, like I said, I hardly catch a
I
movie.
just get drunk. Like I just go to a bar.
See, that's not going to be me, though, because, like, if I'm going to go on a trip and do those things, I want to be fully in control of the trip. It needs to be my trip. Like, I booked the hotel. I'm probably going to plan what restaurants I'm going to go to while I'm there, because I don't like to eat at Jack in the Box when I'm in a city across the country. I want to go to, like, you know, some local barbecue shack
You're a
or something
Wendy's
like
guy.
that. Yeah, that spicy fresco sandwich is absolutely delicious. But that isn't the case here. I'm literally going to be stranded in this slum hole apartment for, like, I would say for the weekend at least. And I got
easily
nothing.
Get out of there,
See,
though.
but like you could go horseback riding.
All right.
Yeah, but
well,
what's the point?
If
yeah.
I wouldn't enjoy it even in the slightest. All right, first of
Okay.
all, I've done some horseback riding. It's a lot of fun. I like it. I also have done horse camp when I was like 9 years old, and that's the worst fucking thing ever. Everyone sits in a line and they lead you to where you're going to go for the day, and then they lead you back to the stable and you brush a horse for half an hour. It's bullshit.
I
You don't
remember
want
doing
that.
Chores?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
they
part
won't
of
let
it.
you. They won't let you
Saddle
gallop
your
either.
horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting a
shoot
I did the
business
same thing when I
idea.
went to janitor camp. You know, it was just a bunch of scrubbing and cleaning the whole time.
I need like epoxy paint
No
my
fun
floor
activities.
camp on the stable.
Yeah, stable hand training.
It's
academy.
called an internship, Woody. That's
Yeah,
the
I
Would
thing.
you-
could do that.
would you
I could
rather
I could
eat-
get an Uber and then like ride out to the edge of the city and maybe there's some sort of horse riding adventure, and I would hate every fucking second of it. Like every fucking second of it, I would be uncomfortable and angry that I was there and upset with all the individuals I had to deal with. And I got nobody here to share it with either, which sounds kind of lonely, but like I like that. I like I like sharing an experience with someone so that we can both be like, hey, remember the time we were at fucking Six Flags and I fucking, started tearing the safety harness off Gary and he fucking pissed his pants? Like, that was great, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I think Gary developed a speech impediment after that, and then we kind of feel bad.
If we were there together, I'd be hunting for a place to go-kart riding. And if I'm there
K1
alone,
Speedway's down there.
I'd be, in the hotel by myself just like Kyle. So
Yeah. No, I get
I
that
would-
though.
If I went there, I would definitely be in a real hotel. Like, I'm never going to use Airbnb, even though Tucker is really talking it up. Maybe he's had way better experience. But
I have.
God, firsthand, seeing Kyle in these two shitty little hovels, back-to-back days, it's just sad. Look at that. That guy knows. It looks like you stumbled in, and he was like, oh, my God. Like, this is a game show. Like, I didn't know I was this week's Airbnb guy. Like, I wish I had prepared and cleaned and had, suitable amenities. But no, it looks like that's unacceptable for someone who knows someone is paying to stay in their home.
it's
That's
bad, but
nonsense.
it's not that bad to me. I mean, his internet works. He has a window unit air conditioner. There's no
I'm
TV,
sharing
but
a fucking Wi-Fi signal with like God knows how many people. We're all in the same thing. It's super insecure, I feel like.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
let's
it's
not let's not joke. That window unit does jack shit, especially in LA in the summer.
The
Like,
weather's nice. The weather's
You're
so nice right
lucky.
now.
I literally moved because my house that we were renting had no central AC. We had 3 of those like 1200 BTU 8 portable AC units pumping AC 100% of the time. That house was 85 degrees every day, no matter what. Like, you get destroyed.
Even if it was cool, the noise on that something like that would bug me.
Oh yeah, super loud, super loud. So
yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's really nice outside. It's cool. Like, it's kind of chilly. I feel like I wished I had a jacket when I went out today. But yeah, I don't want to go do any adventures while I'm here. It's really a work trip, and I'm in work trip mode. Like, I'm spending my free time reading the script. Like, I'm spending my free time like trying to going over the call sheet, making sure I know everybody's names and stuff. Like, I'm here to work.
Company of Heroes 2 working.
Oh, I did that now. I'll tell you what, I got my priorities in order. Like, I didn't have a laptop for this trip. I had a, what was it, iBuyPower laptop maybe or something like that, like a gaming laptop. And then I had a Razer Blade 2, and both of them are broken. And then I had just a regular, like, I don't know, i7 processor little notebook thing that I had. And I think it might have been stolen. I don't know where the fuck it is. So I was left without a laptop, and that was going to be a no-go for this trip. So I bought a laptop. It's I don't know, it was like a $1,500 Asus gaming laptop for this trip. And I'm digging it so far. I'm liking this thing. I downloaded Company of Heroes overnight last night, and Taylor and Chiz and I got on earlier and played a couple games, had some fun. I'm liking that game. I like RTS so much. I love RTS. I always thought I'd hate it and not be able to keep up. Because in Call of Duty, it seems like when you get a little bit better, you don't really even see it. Like, if you improve a tiny bit. But if you improve a tiny bit in RTS, you can totally see it. It's like, oh yeah, you just got a little bit better, and that really changes the end effect because it's.
Can we talk about Call of Duty and the trailer that came out?
Oh yeah.
So
totally.
let me watch it. We can't even watch it, can we?
We probably can.
I don't know.
You can, 100%.
Yeah. Chiz, would you find the link for it? So let me set it up. It appears that it's like Chiz wrote Space Wars in there. It looks like there's a lot of aerial piloting type stuff, and it's different. And I didn't really pick up on that in the trailer. And then someone asked the CEO of Activision or whatever he was to respond to the fact that the video had so many dislikes. I think it has more likes than dislikes when I saw it. I'm not sure.
Nope.
No? Okay, more dislikes than likes.
It is the 77th most disliked video of all time.
It was 72nd when I checked, so it's climbing. Who knows what it is now, but it's one of the most. It has almost 400,000 dislikes, and people are not digging the space thing. And the guy said, "We understand people want boots on the ground. That's why we remastered COD 4." And I didn't realize that the implication there is that those are the only boots on the ground, and the rest of it is Space Wars. Do you have insight on this, or are you just going off trailer analysis?
I got so. I'm not gonna pretend to be like any more involved in Call of Duty than like Team Art or Ali is, but from
that's pretty involved. Yeah.
Right. Well, they're the pinnacle of involvement. You know, I keep my feet wet, and so yeah, they said that they confirmed that they had said a bunch of stuff about boots on the ground, which often refers to as the military stuff being like just having units in the area. But in the community. Yeah, in the community, everybody talks about it as no jetpacks, no thrusters, none of this like flying all around shit. So when he said, we do have boots on the ground, that's why we're remastering COD 4. That just says to everybody, like, well, movement's going to be the same it was 3 years ago. And somebody made a good point. This game was in development from Ghosts onward. So they had a whole year to start developing this, and then Black Ops 3 comes, and then Advanced Warfare comes out, and then they probably had a whole 6 months before people were like, "Fuck this movement, I want something else." They can't stop and change fundamentally like a core part of the game, so they're kind of fucked.
So I thought people liked the new COD. Like, okay, let me preface that actually, and I'm 1 second. I really want to hear what Jericho says, but so it is May at this point. Everybody hates COD all the time, every year. At this point, in COD 4, BlameChiz was selling no frag times 3 shirts, right? XCal was ripping the shit out of COD 4, and that's one of the most beloved CODs ever. So, keeping that like framework in mind, isn't this one of the more liked CODs?
No. Oh, wait. All right, you're talking about Black Ops 3, right?
Yes.
Because Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare are inherently like different. Advanced Warfare is like the most. It's like the farthest left of the movement. So you can jet thrust sideways really quickly, or backwards, or forwards, or ground slide, or whatever. Black Ops 3 is more like a movement augmentation. So it's not like it's It's a core
it's
part of the
better.
game, but it's not. You're not trying to shoot a fly, right? You're not trying to shoot something that's zipping around. So, Black Ops 3 still really liked. They don't like the ideas that Activision made with like the paid microtransactions. That's always, you know, a hot issue. But the core gameplay is pretty well received. It's just the fact that it's an Infinity Ward team that did not make anything besides Ghosts is making this game that has a movement system like Advanced Warfare, and you're just like, this has very low chance of being good and a very high chance of being bad to horrible. So.
So you move like Advanced Warfare, so you can boost around?
But imagine, and they've already confirmed that all of the multiplayer maps are going to be on different planets. So we could see maps with like quarter gravity, where boosting is literally the only thing you can do. And then it's just like, I want to play Halo now, or
There's
anything.
totally going to be a map where it's like 0G and everybody's flying around in a shit show.
Yeah.
So look, I don't think I'm interested in that multiplayer. Definitely not long term. I am interested in its single player. When I watched that trailer, and like, if I went into that trailer not knowing that it was, you know, space warfare, I already knew basically what the deal was before it. But when I saw it, I was thinking to myself, like, if I didn't know that, and then, you know, these ships take off and everything, and it's like, oh, okay, they got kind of like hovercraft type big ships, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is ground control to Major Tom, and it fucking takes off through the atmosphere, and it's like, whoa, that would be so mind-blowing if I didn't know that going in. So I think I will like the campaign mode for the new COD, and I'm so excited for COD 4 coming back. How many years have I been talking about this, right? Like, so for years and years I've been talking about this, like repopulating the old COD 4 servers and stuff, but then it got full of hackers and it ruined it so much, and they're bringing it back, and presumably it'll be back for a long, long time, you know, because it's DLC.
Support it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will, because there's going to be a lot of us on there. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where most people are, but I think it's just kind of funny. Like, in the back of my head, don't get me wrong, I am so excited for the remaster, with the exception of the fact that I'm afraid they're going to change the game engine to an extent that it's not even going to feel like Call of Duty 4.
Yep,
but
me too.
I have played COD 4 or one of the various pro mods, etc. on PC at least a couple times a month, every month since the game has come out. Like, I post videos about Call of Duty 4, me playing multiplayer, or, you know, to this day. And it feels, and it holds up to the test of time. Like, it's that good. So it's kind of funny to me that a game that I'm playing in 1440p, a game that I'm playing in 1440p is being remastered in HD. You know, it's like, it's not Doom 3, which has Doom the original remastered, and you're like, holy shit, we went from squares to HD textures. It's like, this game was in HD. We're just making it look better, like full HD, you know, 1080p or 1440p textures. So it's just kind of interesting to me.
Let's
I just don't
play
want
on this thing.
I don't want. Why do 60 to 70% of every game now have your character wearing exoskeletons? Like, it seems like it's encroaching in everything. Every character in every game has to, like, come crashing down and, like, oh, that would kill a normal person, but not that guy or girl. Like, he's wearing a robot suit.
All right, but Master Chief did that. Didn't he fall, like, a kilometer in, like, Halo 1 or 2 and everybody was just like, yeah, he's got a super suit. Like,
he's basically a robot, yeah.
Right, but with the population, or the popularity of, like, this new mech warrior shit coming in, that they have exosuits that exist, like people picking up boxes with them, you know, doing regular warehouse work. Like, that's, you can see it going in that direction. But man, fuck, I don't want it to.
I understand.
You guys
We should
up
watch
at
the
zero?
trailer though. Yep, I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ready,
set, play.
I want to try and figure out the exact time where everybody started disliking. Like,
I can
what
tell you
made
exactly
everybody
when.
get-
Dude, this is all like very standard Modern Warfare 3-esque, like showing mass damage, everybody's dying shit.
Yeah, I
This is
still
normal
don't dislike it. Let's see. Infinity Ward, just the regular logo. I like that.
10% of the people disliked right there.
I think Jericho's right.
Yeah. Like, this is like, whatever.
I would probably dislike right here because I'm starting to see. Oh, right there. Yep, that's a jetpack. That's not a backpack a soldier wears. That's a jetpack.
This whole thing, yeah, you can see this right here is where people dislike. They're like, aliens, bro!
Yeah,
Fuck!
that's gonna.
I didn't even know they were aliens.
They're not.
Oh.
Yeah, they're probably Russians.
I'll tell you my idea for what's going on after this, but like, This part was cool to me, actually.
This part, I just feel like it's not gameplay. Like this, I'm like, no, you have to show me what the game really looks like. That's what I look for in a trailer.
First person, like somebody actually shooting the gun, not cinematic. Yeah.
We have no precedent for this.
Do you think they know before they release stuff like this that everyone's gonna hate it, and they just temper themselves like, well, we've been working on this for too long?
The poor guy who actually had to edit this.
Let me make our situation absolutely clear.
This is probably where a lot of people disliked. As soon as this, I got chills when the song comes in. I was like, yeah, nice.
Yeah, but this is, God, get rid of all the stuff in the air. That's just like a Star Wars space cruiser, basically.
I feel like I didn't
It's
get
soaring
it.
into space.
I didn't get what they were
out of
showing me.
space.
To me, this was the AC-130 scene from COD 4.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
I was like, this is hype right here.
I really just, at this point, I'm fine with World War II coming back.
Take a break, you dick. And what happened was, I had tried it maybe, I don't know, call it 200, 250 times before I live streamed it, and I didn't get it. So I live streamed it, and I tried it. I don't mean to exaggerate, maybe another 400 or 500 times before I got it. And I was getting frustrated, and everyone's telling me to do different stuff. But the people giving me advice didn't beat it either. I mean, they
Were
were
you
just...
playing it on Veteran?
Yeah.
You can only play on Veteran. Oh, no, you can play on...
You can only
can
play
play
it
it on
after
anything.
you've beaten it.
But you can play it on Veteran to get the achievement, obviously.
Yeah, I want to say there's... I could be wrong on this. What's below Veteran? Hardened or something?
Hard.
Yeah, I think on a Hardened you can shoot the guy anywhere at the end, and in Veteran it has to be a headshot. But I'm not positive about that. And but yeah, I was playing it on the hardest level, and I eventually beat it. But during the time, the whole chat was just like, they could tell that I was a raw nerve, and they loved that about me. And they're like, take a break, and I'm like, I don't take breaks. I push through until I succeed. Like taking a break was like paramount to quitting in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just go sing songs for 5. No, I will sit here and I will pound on this thing until I win and it loses, because that's what I fucking do. And the chat is just they probably told me to take a break like 10,000 times. It's still part of the...
Sometimes you need a break. And you just need to go...
You're right. They weren't wrong.
Okay, focus. Because you can only do that same thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to run forward with my machine gun. Then I'm going to step to the right behind the bathroom. I'm going to step to the left. I'm going to throw a stun grenade. I'm going to step back to the left. I'm going to play flashbang again. Step back to the right because that guy with the P90 is going to shoot. I'm going to run forward. I'm going to kill him all. I'm going to grab his P90. It's got more ammo. I'm going to run around. I'm going to shoot over here behind these seats. Throw another flashbang. Like, it's so
I've had a bunch of
methodical at
seemingly
one point.
impossible
You don't even think what you're
things.
doing until you get to the end.
It is.
I've had a bunch of things where I can't do it. I tried 100 times. I ran out of time. It's ready to go to bed. I go to work, come home the next night, like second or third try. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, it was the break. I'm sure it would have taken me I wouldn't have got it in 2 more tries if I was going more that night. So they weren't wrong, but that's not how I like to do it. I like to just pound it into submission. That's how I have sex. Just slip that in there. That's not even true.
It's the
No,
Woodward
that
way.
was-
Oh yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, you were...
Go on.
Oh, I was just going to make one comment. You were talking about World War II returning. Did you see the Battlefield little teaser that looks very much like it could be a war? They're going to talk about it, I think, tomorrow, the announcement of the new Battlefield game. And they just tweeted like a 6-second video. I'm sure Chiz can find it. And it's a guy just standing and looking at a shadow casting, but a couple people have like gone through and shown like assets for World War II parachutes and life vests, and it looks like the guy could be wearing a World War II life vest. And if I'm gonna be honest, if there's ever a time to quote unquote dethrone Call of Duty as Battlefield, it's gonna be coming out with a next gen World War II gritty, bare bones game, kind of like the Vietnam DLC that they had, and then doing it during this Call of Duty space shit. Like, it's not going to take people from Call of Duty 4, but I've been wanting World War II since World at War came out. So, I mean, especially with new engines and shit, like, just that raw energy and goriness could be fucking awesome. But they won't do it, because, I don't know.
I don't know either. To me, I feel like World War II's been done to death, but I also feel like my vote's kind of invalid. You know, if I had put the kind of time into COD that maybe some of the people listening here in recent years, I might be on the same train. Like, oh yeah, this future stuff is worn out. Time to go back. But to me, it's not that worn out because I barely played the last 2 or 3 CODs.
So, Chiz, are you willing to admit defeat at this point on our little presidential bet? It's pretty much over, right?
He doesn't have the
What was your
delegates.
bet?
You gonna try to Jew me out of this? Is that what you're doing?
Bernie Sanders cannot be elected without some crazy shit. I'm assuming that's what you're going on about.
He's saying Trump won't get the nomination.
Look, man, I am
Trump
on
gets the
this.
nomination, I win. That's the bet. 1237. He's got the majority of the delegates because there's no one to defy him. They go to him.
Here's what I heard. I saw an interesting theory. Somebody said that the Republican side would quietly say, yes, we support you, and then not do anything for him and let him tank in the general election and then just hope. You
No,
really
they're falling
think?
in line.
All right.
They totally are. Mitt Romney and is going to endorse him soon. Huckabee endorsed him today, and McCain's going to endorse him too. He's. I saw that Speaker of the House, that Paul Ryan guy, wasn't willing to get behind him. They're going to get behind him, and here's the best part: he's going to win.
God.
He's going to win. I'm calling it
Don't
right now.
say it. Stop. He just
And
tweeted.
Chiz, if
You want Hillary?
If you want,
No, I don't want anybody. I want to go to Canada.
I'm there with you.
I don't want
I
any of
won't say that, but
why don't you want to go to Mexico? Wouldn't that be better?
Hey, man, it seemed my dollar would go a lot further. So you're
Yeah,
right.
and
Actually,
you'll
no,
go to
Canadian
Canada.
dollar's garbage
Canadian
too.
70
so
fucking cents. 70 cents up there.
living like royalty,
That's
man.
something.
Yeah.
He just tweeted, eating a taco. Like, do you see that tweet today or the Facebook post? So it's just him. Oh my God, him in his chair, like in his, on top of Trump Towers. He goes, the best Mexican food is made here at Trump Towers, and it's him with a taco bowl. But then it just says, I like Hispanics. That's it. And he's just eating a taco bowl. And the best part is that somebody did one of, everybody's gonna pour over it. He's eating a taco bowl on top of a picture of his ex-wife in a bikini.
Why would he do
not
that?
his current wife. But it's not like he put it on there and was like, haha, totally. It's just the corner is sticking out, and it's like a high-res photo of her in like a magazine, just fucking, in a bikini. So I'm like, sure.
Well, don't we
man,
all have some
That wasn't just
ex-girlfriend
sitting there
flatware?
by happenstance. Yeah,
No,
it's
I don't
just like,
know,
oh my
man.
God, you came in while I was redoing the albums, like
Right? Like,
no,
Here,
he
I'm
had
gonna
that
link
there,
it.
tactically.
Here. Best part is it's still up, and he's just happy about it.
love
How do I link
Hispanics.
tweets? All right. The photo is on his left hand. You can see his wife underneath like a pile of newspapers.
I don't see his wife, actually.
Click it. You got to click it because the bottom gets cut off. His ex-wife.
yeah.
You guys are more knowledgeable politically than me about the outcomes and whatnot. So from what I understand, on the Republican side, Trump's got it fucking locked up. It's pretty much end game. On the Democrat
100%.
side, Hillary's pretty much, unless she gets indicted, got it locked up by numbers. Does Trump have any chance at all against Hillary Clinton in like a real election?
Yeah. Because nobody knows what the
Trump's in,
fuck's
it's
going to
not a
go
real
on.
election.
Nobody
answer-
knows
I
what's
feel
gonna
like,
happen.
Taylor, here's the real answer. The Republicans start at a severe disadvantage. There's I'm making this up, but I'll say there's 20 states that go Democrat and 15 that go Republican and 10 that could go either way. That doesn't add up to 50, but work with me. And for the Republicans to take it, they have to flip the coin 10 times and get 8 heads. And but can Trump do that? He seems to be the giant slayer so far, so it's possible, but it's harder for Republicans.
Did somebody? Hey, Chiz, can you link the first? Is that it? Yeah, this is the map that I was talking about. The first kind of actually reputable map of the U.S. and which way everybody leans and how likely it is to have one party take each state came out, and it's something like. Have the amount of the electoral college that heavily favors Democrats and whatever. It's like a 70-30% split. I made that up, but it's a very daunting split. It's not like, we'll win Ohio and it's good. Like that's not the way it is. So,
Yeah.
I'm just
the Republicans just win all the states that don't have that many people in them. Just the more blue collar agriculture crowd.
Yeah, I wish that
nothing
this
wrong with
had
that.
the delegate totals in it. And maybe it does elsewhere.
There is one that does. I don't have it though.
It has them, but you have to add them yourself at the bottom. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, what the hell?
But if you look at those yellow states, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, right? They need to win, I'm making it up, 7 or 8 of the battlegrounds, whereas Hillary only needs to pick up like 4. And that's why,
I just like, there's...
None of that matters. None of that matters.
Oh, let me just throw these numbers
Hillary,
out. Shit. Add them up.
What are you saying, Kyle?
It doesn't matter because it's Donald Trump that she's running against. I feel like he's such a wild card. He does nothing but defy expectations. I think you just gotta start
As
believing.
Charlie has shown us, wild card isn't always the best option. Sometimes it's like you're sabotaging yourself. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like there
it
is a
hasn't
chance
gone that way
people...
yet.
Here's what I want to say. If you add the solid Democrat and lean versus the solid Republican and lean Republican, in our score that ends at 270, the winner gets 270, the Republicans start down 237 to 191. 237 to 191, game ends at 270. That's why it's hard. That's what I'm trying to say. And Hillary just needs to pick up, what is that, another 33 points? And they need to pick up 79? Yeah. And that's why it's harder. But it's possible because Trump has defied all expectations so far.
You got to realize that as much as people like to point at like, oh, caucuses aren't a good representation of the type of people that are going to come out and vote. Or like, oh, primaries aren't very urgent and a lot of people don't go and vote in primaries. And, none of these are indicative of a general election that's going to slide one way or the other. Like, never have we ever had a pretty outside candidate like Bernie Sanders get such a large portion of one party's vote and be so against the other person running in their party that nobody knows what like that 70% of his crowd is going to do. Like, I'm sure 30-40% will just be like, fuck it, Hillary's better than Trump, let's just go for it. But like,
it's going to be way more than 30-40%.
Yeah.
But still, there's that wild card that could, there's a group of people that are just like, fuck everything. I don't want this. I'd rather have everything burn and start from the ground up. Like,
the problem is this. I watched this 8 years ago, and I don't know how old Chiz is acting like he knows. I don't know how old you guys were 8 years ago when it was Hillary versus Obama, but that was a much more bloody battle than the Sanders versus Hillary thing, right?
Yeah, it was.
They were throwing darts at each other. They had their spears out. The people who were in Hillary's camp were in the never Obama camp, and vice versa. And then come the general, it's like, all right, as much as I hated Obama, they were like, I'm not going to be voting for, was it McCain? Is that who we beat the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was it? Anyway. Yeah, that is right. They're like, I'm definitely not voting for McCain, that old guy, this, that, his problem, that problem. So, the notion that these guys that they're going to jump over to the other side, that's not usually what happens. And, to me, like, I've seen this before. The Bernie people are not as anti-Hillary as the Hillary people were against Obama.
Really, though?
Yeah.
So maybe not as vocally anti-Hillary, but like there's definitely never been two people running in the same party that are so at odds with each other's stances. It just seems to me like at least the two other elections that I had a reasonable understanding of, because I'm not old enough to have that Bush, Gore shit locked down. It just seems like most of the people involved are very much running the same platform with a few differences, and then you go, all right, like, yeah, sure, I'll go with this or I'll go for that. It's not a big deal. But like when you get down to differences between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, it seems to me that a lot more issues come to light where they don't mesh than they do, say, 4 years ago or 8 years ago when Hillary was running against Obama. While both different, it just seems like that gap is a little bit larger, if not way more larger. But I was also younger.
I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Tucker, you've been playing some VR games. Tell me about this.
Yeah, I wanted to hear about that too.
Politics.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because here's my thing. I remember when I wanted to get my first HD video player, and it was Blu-ray versus HD DVD. and I was weighing them, and it seemed like at the time that clearly Blu-ray was going to win, but HD DVD was so cheap and it was the same quality. It was like, maybe I could build a big collection of that. But that's stupid, of course, in the long run. So my question to you is, if I want to get into the VR gaming game, as it were, and I just want to buy once, you know what I mean? Like I want to.
Just one.
What's your saying, Woody, about buying nice instead of twice or some shit?
Yeah.
Buy it nice or buy it twice, right?
Thank you. Yeah, if I want to
a good
do
saying.
that, and I want to get into VR gaming, both feet, and I don't mind spending $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever it costs. What do I want? What's the good thing to get? And
I got you, man. So I've tried all of the VR systems, even Oculus Touch, which is not going to be released until Q3 of this year. You follow the porn, dead ass honest. Happened with VHS, happened with Blu-ray. It's going to happen with this. You follow the porn and you go where the porn's being made. Now, if we're not going to joke about it, the Vive is every single thing is a different experience to the other. You can barely compare the Vive to the Oculus. You cannot compare the Vive to literally anything else, or the Oculus to almost anything else on the market. Gear VR, Google Cardboard, those are mobile solutions to VR, and those are like media consumption tools. Like if I want to watch a Twitch stream, pop in my cell phone to my Gear VR, and I'm watching a Twitch stream on the airplane, whatever. Fine. You're not playing games on that. I don't care who you are. But the Vive and the Oculus, those are the ones that are like the Xbox PS4. If you are going to buy any system within the next 6 to 10 months, it's going to be the Vive, and you are not even going to have a debate. And the reasons are simple. Vive does room scale support out of the box, which is, in my opinion,
it does
scale.
what?
Yeah,
Could you explain what that is?
What's that all about?
So VR is, a lot of people think of it as a gimmick, like 3D. You put on some goggles and it changes the way you view content, and you're like, cool. And that's really what seated VR experience is. You feel like you're in the game, but you're stationary. They're made for you not to move around and just kind of look around. So it's cool. It's a nice novel experience, but room scale means that it basically maps your play space. The minimum is a 6 by 6 foot area, and the max is a 10 by 10 foot area. And it lets you interact with the virtual environment in that space. You can walk around it. You can, if you're playing a game, for example, like Hollow Point, which is you have a bow and arrow, and it's a wave-based game. You can jump around and dodge shit in that area. You're not static. You're not sitting down. You're interacting and moving around the area. And in the most simple terms I can put it, there is not a VR experience that I could give any shits about unless it's room scale. There are cool experiences that Oculus has, or that you can, strap on and watch Twitch, but room scale is like being a part of something, not bearing witness to it. It's the difference between interacting and just observing. It's just so unbelievably immersive that every single person, and we put probably 25 people, Sonia, my girlfriend, has a Vive as well as I do. We put probably 25 people into VR for the first time. Not a single person has gone, I kind of enjoyed it sitting down better. Like, I really wish they did more with this tech. Like, this tech is kind of underwhelming. Everybody, including my dad, who never has played games before, just loses their shit. Vive is that good. I don't think I can name one early adoption hardware that is actually...
There's so much stuff like that. Like, people used to record sound on, like, wax discs in, like, the 1850s, and, like, they would have parties where we go there, and it's like, watch while I crank this, Susan. And it's like... And I was like, oh my God, this is the fucking future. Recording tunes on wax. My God. Like, this is just the new thing. Like,
it's
in 20 years,
that we're living
just
in one.
like now, people are going to look back and be like, look how rudimentary that is.
It's like, it's not computational power. So the big thing is that Vive and Oculus, you need a gaming PC. You don't need a PC that plays games. You need a bitchin' $1,500, $2,000 gaming PC 980 graphics card. Like, that's what you need. But the biggest thing outside of that is just the lenses. Like, lens tech and screen tech, you've seen how cell phones went from 4 years ago, we got 720p screens. We're like, fuck yeah. Now it's like 4K or bust. Lens tech is the, it seems like the biggest thing that's the biggest drawback, because it does not take away from the experience at all. But when you first put it on, if you're trying to read text, you get this thing called a screen door effect, which it kind of looks like you're looking through a screen door. You can see the pixels. and it makes it hard to read
You see
text
that
or anything
on
crisp.
like stadium TVs too, because the pixels are
Yeah,
too big.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So if you're at a baseball game, you're looking at the jumbotron too close. So as soon as I get rid of that, like my stream output looks fucking great. It's 1080p. It looks crisp. But like my view,
You can see it a bit.
you can see it if you try.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
I've been writing down questions. Can you wear glasses under your VR goggles?
Not with the Oculus.
That's
Yes,
a
with
good
the
question.
Vive. The Vive, we had 2 nights ago. We had a party. We just set up a
Thanks,
whole
Taylor.
room for our VR. Yeah, that's a good present. Yeah. I don't wear glasses, but from all of the reviews that have come out, Oculus is uncomfortable to wear or unbearable to wear with glasses, depending on how big or thick rimmed those glasses are. Vive, you can adjust the distance between your eyes and the screen. So even if you have these Coke rim glasses, you can just put it on just fine. Or these big sunglasses, it's fine. So that's a good question, but the Vive's the only one that does that comfortably right now.
Does anyone want to go before me?
Yes. Okay, so we
Hit me.
talked about like a $2,000 gaming PC.
Mhm.
Does my experience change if I get a $3,000 gaming PC instead?
No. Currently.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now
Go.
I know that. So what is my total cost if you were to if I were to say to you, all right, put me a package together. I won't do that because that's troublesome. But if I were to say that to you and you were willing, what would the package include, ground up to get into the VR game and to play the coolest? And my next question is, what's the coolest thing to play on?
Yeah,
there? Like
I got you.
What really benefits from the VR tech?
All right. So ground up, assuming you have nothing, not even monitors, about $1,700. If you have monitors, keyboard, you have $1,700 for the computer alone. Sorry. If you have monitors and keyboard, $1,500, sure. Vive is $800. Tax isn't included, so like $880 max. So we're looking at about $2,500 to $2,800 for what you're gonna want for the best possible experience. You can go bigger, you can go smaller, but I mean, and then to answer your question, what's cool? The reason I say that is because there's not really any AAA games that are gonna be like Crisis, right? There's not like a Crisis for the Vive yet that's going to be like pushing your computer to fucking max. But the coolest games there's I find are a lot of arcade games, ones that I can hop into for like 15 minutes when I'm just like I'm waiting for a video to render. I'll just pop it in and I'll play a couple games and I'll dip out. There are long tail games called like The Gallery, which is a really cool kind of like detective thing. You got to walk around, pick up, look through things, look underneath things, try and find clues for something. Really beautiful game, but like shit like Audio Shield, which is just like audio surf, where you just block beats, kind of like Guitar Hero, except you're just punching them in VR space. That's fucking awesome. Fun. Yeah. It's simple fun. It's like it takes no effort. You get in orange, blue, block orange and blue, but like it's just so impossible to understand until you're in the experience.
I'm going to do this, and I'll tell you why. It's what you said about your dad really liking it. I want to show this to my dad because I feel like it'll blow his fucking mind, and I want to see his reaction to it. Because like he's never liked video games. He's always hated my video games, and like you can't even get him to sit there for more than 30 seconds. So I think if I'll take the whole rig over to his fucking farm and like plug all this shit in and buckle him up and blow his mind. I think that'd be fun.
I gotta.
I think I'm gonna get on board
that he
this.
would suddenly like virtual reality. That just strikes me as something that older people are going to be like.
Nah,
just like,
down.
Have you ever tried to get someone who's older who didn't play video games when they were growing up, and they just can't for the life of them figure out how to move both at the same time?
It's different.
I feel like
yes.
Like, is this going to be something that if you're older, is it just like you put it on, you're like, oh, I have a headache, I can't handle this?
No, I mean, and the only reason I'm saying this is because, one, I get horrible motion sickness. That's always a question. I can't sit in the backseat of a car, all right? So, and I can't go.
Convenient.
Yeah, convenient. Give me that shotgun. But my dad is like that.
I know one of you people.
My dad's like this stoic businessman.
I simply can't.
Actually, that's
I'll
me
throw
that
up in the
Kyle
back
might
of
be
your
talking
car.
about. I get seasick, car sick, and air sick, and it's one of the questions I've been waiting to ask. Like, am I going to get VR sick?
I don't understand this bullshit. First of all, when I do get sick, you just fucking get it over with. You vomit, get it all out of your system, guzzle some Pepto.
I wish
go.
that worked. I like after you throw up in your motion sickness, unless you're out of the motion, you're still sick. It's awful.
Yeah, it's not like hangovers.
Yeah,
Like,
or like
puking around.
I've had
me ask
fevers
you-
where I get sick, and then after I throw up, it's like, wow, I think I just got cured. Motion
When you
sickness,
were
you're
on that-
cured when
that-
you land.
When you were on that fishing trip and you were so sick, did you ever consider getting in the water?
Yes, I did. I mean, it's
I
risky
figured.
because we're trolling, right? So there's like 18 lines just like behind the boat, all dragging. Like I would just get shredded, right? But I was like, man,
Yeah,
I,
dude, it's
I
just
feel
one
like that would
thing.
cure me if I could just like limp to the edge and fall over. But you were the sick thing. So
Right. I've played 2 games that have given me motion sickness. One's Elite Dangerous. It's a seated experience. It looks gorgeous, but you're piloting a spaceship in 0 G's. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I do a backflip, and I'm just like, no, we're done with that. Like it's not
That
good.
sounds like so much fun.
did you say that
I
you
went
were
on board with this?
prone to it a little bit, like close to me?
I am probably the same. I'm very prone to it. That said, the only other games that I can find a correlation between me getting sick are games that you are not directly in control of your body, and like your body and your head are one. So if I'm looking this way and I'm walking this way, I'm gonna start feeling sick. Like that's uncomfortable to me, and it's uncomfortable to a lot of people. But there have been.
Wait, hold on. If you look this way and you start walking
All
backwards,
right. Say you're playing Counter-Strike, right? So say you're
Sure.
playing like or Call of Duty in VR. So you're sitting at your keyboard or your Xbox, right? And you're running and you're shooting, and you look to the left, and your cursor does not move. Your cursor is still pointed straight. Your head, your camera is facing this way, but then you start strafing to the right. So the game thinks you're facing this way. You're moving this way, and your head is facing this way. It feels like. I don't really know how to explain it. It just
takes
you're
some
not
getting
in
used
control.
to. It sounds like.
Yeah, if you're shotgun, like in the literal sense, right? Like on a stagecoach shotgun in a game, I can imagine that sort of thing, where you're just traveling through the fields might get you sick. No?
If you don't have control over your movement,
Yeah.
if you're riding like a ride,
It's
if you're like on a
bouncy.
rail system or something, if you're on a rail system shooter, that's not so bad. But as soon as you like start moving yourself and it's kind of like a disconnect. If you take a step and you're on a rail system and you move and your character doesn't move, that disconnect sets you off. Not even just me. There have been several people that are like, no, I don't get motion sickness. You put them in there and they're just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, your
but on
brain
the other
can't
side,
justify that just happened because your brain is perceiving that you're not just sitting
Right.
still. Your brain is perceiving that you're like going on a path, but it also just told your entire body to make a movement, and it's fucking your wiring up.
and I would say that it wouldn't be that bad, but this
Yeah,
is
that could be
we're talking about an experience where on stream, like several times on stream, I've tried to lean or put something on a VR table, or like I've tried to lean on a wall, and I've straight fallen over because that you just accept it as reality. That's one of the cool things.
It's really cool. So
Right.
have you gotten any of the pornographic
Yes.
accessories to this thing?
Oh,
how-
accessories? No, I don't have like a pocket pussy that fucks me along with like a.
No, you just use your
doing
hand,
then?
like a simple man with simple VR technology.
Do you want me to? Listen.
We all have sex robots around here.
We do too.
You have the blowjob robot.
We all got one.
We all got one. Yeah. Well, Taylor never got his.
Poor
I think
guy.
he's lying. I think his brother like swooped in there and like made off with his blowjob machine.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
gonna be a confession, and like if I like on my deathbed, they're gonna come up to me. I just had to let you know. You did get that machine. Like, I don't think you want it now, though. Like, it's been years. Yeah.
I can
I like
really
that.
quick. You want the skinny on VR porn it's not good enough. It just everybody it looks like you're fucking a 30-foot tall woman. Like they don't have it. The perspective on a 360 video is different than the perspective of a game made for VR. So like that lady who's riding me, I'm like this. I'm like, what the fuck is this, Amazonian goddess doing on me?
That's
and then
my
it's like
kink.
that's not. Yeah, all right, maybe it is, but then you gotta like beat it in time with it, and that just breaks the immersion. It's just not that great. I'm waiting
Okay,
for the
okay.
next gen VR.
We'll get there. We're just getting started with the VR porn. We'll get some
I have high
Cybernet
hopes. High hopes.
eventually.
How does he?
I want an attachment that like comes out like a boom arm like this, and it's just like
Yes.
as I'm over here, just like
Are these are these VR goggles also a headset?
What do you?
Seems like they would
For
have to be,
audio.
right? Part of the virtual
Audio.
reality is sound. Like you
Give
have the
me-
3D
oh,
sound coming
alright.
in.
So no, only Oculus has built-in headphones,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, the headphones you get with your cell phone. I mean, they all have
They're
headphone
crap.
ports, so you just plug it in. Like I use these headphones, I just plug it in and put it over top of the headset, and then it's fine. But
Okay. Huh, you'd
Yeah.
think they should, someone could, because audio is a huge part of the experience. You guys are all kind of hip to it, but a lot of people don't get that audio is every bit as important as video. I'm
Right.
surprised someone hasn't made like a whole freaking VR half
What do
helmet
you like?
thing.
What more do they need than 7.1 surround though?
Well, it
like,
sounds to me like you
real-
supply your own headset and they just do, it's like a monitor.
They ship with a headset. It's just not the greatest headset. Like, I mean, anybody who has Apple earbuds, and is acceptable and thinks that's acceptable quality, they're never going to complain. But if you're somebody who's going to buy the Vive anyways, this is an $800 plus accessories system. Even the Oculus is $600. Like, we're not talking about Jimmy's mom going out to the store like with an Oculus. Like, here, Jimmy. Like, we're talking about people that understand. If you want to upgrade your audio, you're just going to get a better headset. It's not, I don't know. I don't think audio definitely helps, but it's not, the lack of inclusion is not pivotal to like the success or failure of the
Maybe I
system.
need to see it. I just in my head, I feel like the
This is the Vive.
the form factor of like being on top of your head and side of your head, and like
Why don't I just put it on? I
Yeah.
can just do that. All
Maybe I
right.
need
I
to
can't
see
hear
it.
you guys, but here's the 5 cables that come out, or 3 cables, I guess, and here's the audio cable. You just plug this in. So in order to put it on, you just literally do this, and then you
That's really
stretch it
cool.
over your head, and I'm done. And then where's my headset? And now I look like a praying mantis or whatever. Here. So I mean, it just fits on
I
fine.
see
Like,
better
I can't see
now.
Now, hang on. I have a question. While
Yeah.
you're in there, while you're in that virtual world, do you ever have the fear that someone's going to come up behind you and slit your throat?
like specifically slit
Constantly,
my
I bet.
Forevermore, I want you to think when you're in that virtual world, riding a roller coaster, like popping little bubbles or balloons, or like dodging throwing knives, that some guy could have broken into your apartment. He's already dealt with whoever he encountered first, and he's just
Jesus. watching
watching you, laughing while he brings the straight razor closer and closer to your jugular.
Would you ever wear a VR headset in an Airbnb, Kyle?
Jesus, no.
Let me tell you, I am so freaked out to be wearing this headset in an Airbnb that like I'm honestly going to get up and go check the door to make sure it's locked, because when I brought that pizza in earlier, I'm not positive that I locked it, and I got to know. Look, when I came in here originally, I had my like movie makeup on, and it's this scar. It's this pretty wicked scar that like goes up to my eyelash and like down my face because I'm like some sort of villain. And I'm going down this scary dark hallway that's completely unlit, and I see this black guy, and I'm kind of like worried about him, and I realize though that he's worried about me. He's like, "Hey man, everything cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, everything's cool. Yeah." And I just keep on walking, and then I'm like, "He was afraid of me. This scar's badass." I look super hardcore with the scar. I try to wear my glasses when I interact with normal people. But like everybody that sees me, they're like staring at my scar. I'm starting to feel like self-conscious about my fake scar. I'm like trying to hide it and like point my head away and stuff, worried somebody's gonna see my fake fucking
Yeah,
scar.
fake scar, but real shame.
Yes, it absolutely
You know what?
is. I feel
maybe
bad
he was
about
doing is you're thinking that that guy was like, man, that dude is scary as fuck. What if it is L.A. just right around the corner of the hallway? Some dude dressed up as like the alien for a shoot. It was just incredible makeup, and he was just like, God damn! And then he sees you, and he's hello, sir. Like,
Back
oh
on
my
the
God,
VR
so,
thing.
Are you an extra? Do you
Back
lay
on the
down and pretend
VR
to be
thing.
dead?
So hold on a second, Tucker. I've got this. I like entrepreneurs and always have. Is part of your motivation for doing the VR thing to like own the space while it's new? You know, like a lot of guys that got into YouTube in 2008 or got into Twitch in 2013 or something.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, I would be lying to you if I said that wasn't part of the exciting part of making content.
Right,
Like,
right.
So I have a developer unit. So I've been able to make content months before other people have been able to get it. Like even now, only insert number 5,000 people in the world have a Vive because of whatever. That said, I've said it before. I've never felt this engrossed in new technology in my life. Like, this is Ready Player One. This is, when they pull up a holodeck and they're like, yeah, here, here, and here. You can do that, and it looks just every bit as cool as it is in the movies. And yeah, it's awesome that I get to be like part of this pioneering group of people that get to try first adopt this VR stuff. But like, the main goal is just to fucking experience everything. And yeah, of course, I email every dev that has a game on Reddit, and I'm like, please send me a link to your game so I can play it. But like,
that's a win-win, by the way.
It is, and that's why
I'm sure they're more than happy to do that.
Yes, they are, and they're all great people because there's not. Activision hasn't made a VR title yet. It's all indie devs or smaller dev teams that are making these titles. So, yeah, I'd love to own the space. I'd love to make some shit.
You could.
And I've definitely been trying to work with some studios. The head of animation at DreamWorks has a VR studio that they're working on doing a program for streaming in VR that allows you to kind of imagine mounting a 360 camera on your head. So instead of watching somebody from their perspective, you get to watch it from whatever perspective you want. It's streaming for people who have a VR headset or a mobile device, kind of like 360 videos are right now. You decide where you're looking, not the person with the camera. So shit like that's super exciting to me.
Yeah,
because it is the future.
And like, it doesn't bother me one bit. Not one. I can't. Zero doesn't seem to fully understand. It's okay to have a business motive. If there was none, maybe the content wouldn't be as good. If there was nothing in it for you, if it was just a hobby passion thing, then that'd only be one motivator.
I wouldn't have turned my entire. So we have an extra bedroom in this home we're at. I wouldn't have. We literally green screened the entire room, got a new PC, a full setup so we could stream it. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that nor justify it if it was just, I want to have a VR area and play space. Like, that is business motivated. That also helps my experience in VR anyways. Like, business doesn't have to be the sole motivator. It definitely helps in some cases. So I agree with you.
Yeah, it's extra motivation. I think YouTube videos have gotten better in the last 5 years. You compare
100%.
The current vloggers out there. Like, I keep talking about Casey as if he's the only successful vlogger.
Nice but he's the best though.
I think he is, model. But I'm telling you, Casey probably wouldn't do this every day or couldn't do this every day if it wasn't profitable for him. And he makes daily videos, and I know how long they take to edit. It's like, for me, I spend 1 to 2 hours editing my videos, and you can't do that if they don't make money. So you have to spend time on things that do.
True. Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, he might be seeing an opportunity, and I do
see an opportunity, 100%. It's I mean, if I can, before we move on to VR, if there's one thing that I've said hundreds of times, as soon as you put on the headset and you get involved for your first VR experience and you get off and you're gonna go home and you start thinking about it and you're like, fuck. Like, VR is so much more than just gaming. It's not like we've got, it's not like we're getting an Xbox here. Like, this is VR in a sense that you could send this and help. Example, there's a gun range program, realistic. So in order to load that M4, you have to physically grab the mag, load it. You have to, clear the chamber. You have to take it off of safety. You have to, do all this stuff. And then when you unload the mag, I was talking about it in a video. I was like, yeah, this could be great to show people gun safety and basic rules of guns without taking them on a live, range. And as I said that, I pulled the trigger without clearing the chamber, and I shot, like, the table. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I could have been somebody dead right there because I'm an idiot. So, like, from anatomy to whatever it is, there's just more applications outside of gaming that VR is almost certainly going to be bigger in than gaming itself.
So here's what I want to know. So what I'm obsessed with right now is RTS games. We've been playing a game called Age of Mythology a lot. It's an older game, much like Age of Empires, but fun. And we've been playing most recently Company of Heroes 2, the World War II RTS, which is super combat focused and not so much focused on macro stuff and getting economies up and running. It's really just about like coordinating mixed unit packages and fighting, and gaining the like domination flags and COD. That sort of game type seems to be the only one, and I'm really enjoying it. But what would be cool is if I had the ability to go in and actually be floating above the battlefield, and like flying around and overseeing all my stuff and being able to like touch the stuff and make it do what I wanted to do.
Who knows?
Like if this hand would select units
insane.
and this hand would tell them what to do, and I could just
it would
be
be like you were God.
Attack. Yeah, you attack there. Yeah. And then when, in Age of Mythology, you literally are Zeus, so there's a power where you get one thunderbolt that'll kill anything, and you get to use it once, and it would be like and just that would be so. I just imagine watching someone play a game like that from the outside, and just you'd look like such a maniac over there.
You would
look like
an
idiot. You do.
So silly. So
but
many
it's insane. But it's crazy. Like that, the RTS stuff is one of the things I'm like, this is fucking sick. Valve made a Dota 2 spectator thing for VR specifically, where it has like a mini map overlay, so you can get up and like look at where everybody is and what they're doing, and then you can look over here to the scoreboard and it pops up with all the stats and shit, and then they've got the game on this like IMAX screen. Like they're already like there's probably already an RTS game like that
Well, I'm down. I'm pretty serious about getting into this. That if I can get it done I've already got a monitor, keyboard, mice. I've got enough. I could probably like cannibalize my current PC for a good bit of hardware and get into that thing for probably under $2,000. So I think I'm gonna do it.
100%. You should. You should. If not for content, just for yourself. I'm pretty
totally
certain you're
for
not
myself.
gonna be. Yeah, you're not gonna regret it.
I want to play. I feel like it'd be so much fun to just chill out and do. I feel like anything and everything would be cool, even if it were just a menu system and you're like setting the thing up in VR. I feel like that's fun. It's like
I use my desktop. I use my desktop in VR. It's literally I have 3 screens right in front of me. Fuck it, gonna use it in VR because it's just it's cooler. I don't know what you want from me.
That's pretty neat. Is there any way to like have input from your phone? Like, let's say I'm in game, can my phone and I see that like Jim's calling me, and then I fucking give Jim the finger and it hangs up on him. Can I make that happen? Because I love that.
Giving the
need
finger.
to be able to. That's a great
Vive,
idea.
Yeah, like me give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like that'd be great. If you're just like,
nah,
and it's a call rejected. I would love that. If that's not a feature, it should be. Make that.
Hand controls would be sick. Vive ships with phone support, so if you get a phone call, you can just take the call in or a text. You can just take the text and respond to it in VR. Like they already thought of that, but no
How do you
thumb
respond
support.
in VR? What do you do? Just
There's
like touch
There's a
the
built-in
text?
mic, or you can text from inside on the VR menu. But it has a built-in mic and camera, so you can talk and shit.
Sounds really cool. I think I really am going to get on board with this. But I don't want it to distract from my RTS habit, because that
habit has to continue. We're having a good time with
a full-time session. I love it. I really do. I like getting together, especially when Chiz plays with us. He rarely does because he's got to stick up his ass. I think he thinks he's better than us.
He did play today.
All he ever talks about is how much money that he's taken from those fat cats on the stock market and then pumping right to the Sanders campaign. I don't know what he called it, some sort of a shit loop or something. I don't know, but
shit loop.
Yeah, that's all he ever talks about is Sanders, the campaign, and how he's finding ways to get multiple people under his umbrella, because you can only donate a certain amount of money. So he's like having he's donating in his mother's name and his father's name, just anybody and everybody he can get a hold of. He asked me if he could donate, if he could donate like $2,300 in my name or something. I was like, fuck no, absolutely not. I will sue you if you do that.
Yep. He's asked us all, and you just have to be steadfast. It's a lost cause, Chiz.
It's over.
I'm sorry. Over. You need to give that up and get more time into Company of Heroes and Age of Mythology, so you can catch up.
I want to hear more about our advertisers, our sponsors.
Well, which one in particular would you like to hear about, Woody?
Tracker.
The next one.
What was that?
Tracker, I said.
Which one?
If you want me to pick one.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Let me bump Tracker up to the front of the roster here. He was number 5, but he's coming up first. All right.
It's the highest in the picture. That's why I picked him.
Smart cars, smartphones, smart homes. Technology has made everything smart, but when you lose those smart things, it can make you feel really stupid. I think we've all lost things before. I get absolutely infuriated when I lose shit. I really do.
Sounds like
I can lose my shit, and that's the one thing. That's one of the things that'll like send me into an actual rage where I'll just like get red faced and be like breathing heavily, and everybody around me is like, let's just leave Kyle alone right now. He's in a bad mood. It's when I lose my wallet or my keys or something like that. And since I got that tracker, I hooked it up to my big keychain, and I haven't lost shit. I love it. Tracker is a coin-sized device that locates misplaced keys, wallets, bags, computers, anything in seconds. Just pair Tracker to your smartphone, attach it to anything, and find its precise location with the tap of a button. It's that easy. Lose your phone, press the button on the Tracker, and it'll ring your phone even if your phone's on silent. That's a really great feature. With over 1.5 million devices, Tracker has the largest crowd GPS network in the world, so your lost item shows up on a map even if it's miles away. Never lose anything again with Tracker. Listeners to our show here get a special discount of 30% off your entire order when you go to thetracker.com and enter offer code PKA. The hardest thing you'll ever have to find is their website. So go to tracker.com, thetracker.com right now and enter promo code PKA for 30% off your entire order. Again, that's tracker.com, promo code PKA. Now,
Dude,
what kind of messages are you slipping me over here?
So the tracker thing interests me not only as a tool but as a business. I feel like this is a billion-dollar idea. Like find your phone, find your keys, link them together, etc. I saw some wallet company that did the exact same thing, and I was like, "Oh, Tracker's got some competition." It turns out that this wallet company just sewed a tracker into the wallet. Like that was their innovation. They got a tracker, and then now the wallet finds your keys or finds your phone. I was like, that's a
Wait,
clever.
but it's Tracker. Tracker's getting some credit for this, right?
Yeah.
Thetracker.com. It's THEtracker.com. Which is why they say the hardest thing you'll have to find is their website. Because you think it's Tracker.com, it's thetracker.com.
And there's no E. Chiz just wrote it wrong in the chat. But he says there is an E. No, I don't think so.
He says there is an E.
It'll be right in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be right in the description. That's for. Dude, look at your image, Chiz.
Probably not the time.
Yeah.
Probably
Well,
not.
While we're,
There
while we're,
is no E.
while we're
There is
hassling
no
Chiz
E.
over typos, let me tell everyone about Audible. This episode of PKA is also being brought to you by Audible. Audible includes more than 180,000 audio programs from leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine, and newspaper publishers, as well as business information providers. Download and listen anywhere on your iOS device, Android, Kindle Fire, Windows Phone, or more than 500 other MP3 players. Are you still a fan of reading? Are you still a fan of reading off your Kindle, but reading while driving to work is just too bumpy for you? No problem. Whisper Sync for Voice lets you switch back and forth between reading the book on the Kindle or the Kindle app and listening to the audiobook without ever losing your place or missing a break. It's really great because that's super annoying. If you get mixed up, if you do what Murka over there did and you listen to a whole Game of Thrones book on shuffle, then it could be hard to really comprehend what happened in the end. It gets confusing when you do that.
It takes a lot of MacGyvering to come back after that, and you ruin
Absolutely.
a lot of surprises for yourself. So
Don't
do that.
bootleg your audiobooks. Go with Audible because they are offering our listeners a free audiobook of your choice and a free 30-day trial membership. Just go to audible.com/PKA and choose from over 180,000 downloadable titles. Get your free title now and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audible.com/PKA. That's audible.com/PKA and get started today. Our audiobook that we're recommending is, of course, Game of Thrones. What better to get and catch up on than Game of Thrones as it's coming out every week and just blowing us the fuck away. Yes, A Song of Ice and Fire. Chiz, thank you. I have really been enjoying this season of Game of Thrones. I know the first episode was kind of a glorified catch you up kind of thing, but all the stories moved forward at least an inch, sometimes 3 inches, and that was good enough. I missed them. These were my friends, and they'd been away for a year, and I didn't need them to go on an adventure right away. I just wanted to like touch
Just wanted
base.
to check up. Yeah.
I wanted to touch base with them, see if anybody aged poorly in the last year. So Bran clearly turned into a Jew. We can all see that. I don't know what happened there. Some poor casting. That does
Are
not
we
look
still
like
in the ad read? I'm a little confused.
No, that's going on. But that doesn't mean you should check out Audible. They are not anti-Semitic at all, unlike Woody over there. Forces me to get in at least one Jew remark in every show. It's in my contract. I have no choice. I apologize profusely. But yeah, I've been loving it so far. The second episode in particular, I liked a lot. I'm pumped for episode 3. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen episode 2 of Game of Thrones, you got like 3 seconds before I'm gonna spoil some shit.
Wait, we need to make sure. Tucker, have you seen it?
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, and I want to say one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
We usually get
this talk every time.
the timeline in the description pretty quickly on these things. So if you want to avoid a spoiler, you can probably just click and go. You know where to go.
Yeah, if there are any further spoilings, check the description for warnings on those. But Jon Snow fucking coming back at the last second, and you knew it was going to happen, but there was a little doubt. There was a little doubt, and I was watching with bated breath, watching to see him move or move a little, or just just do anything, a twitch. I just kept imagining that scenario with the Onion Knight and the Giant Slayer guy, like hauling him around like Weekend at Bernie's from that meme, and Jon Snow's got the glass. Like I was hoping that was going to happen. Maybe a little bit like Carrie Yules and Princess Bride, like he's completely powerless, so they're just kind of propping him up, and he just runs his mouth to get shit done. I thought that would have been cool. If Jon Snow all of a sudden has to like use his wits instead of his brawn to like make them do what he says, because he's kind of like fucked up when he comes back. But what it reminded me the most of when he came back was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The season in between seasons, she died one season at the end of like season 2, 3, something like that. She legit dies. They bury her, but then she comes back to life alone and buried alive, and has to like burrow out, and that fucks her head all up. So I'm hoping that Jon Snow being there, waking up alone and confused, it doesn't mess his head up, because I don't want to spend a whole episode with him like recuperating or like doing like a montage of hacking up like wooden men and like learning to shoot the bow again. No,
Oh
he
my
should
god,
come back.
that would be so
He should
painful.
come back, and he should be like Neo from Matrix between before and after the hallway scene. All of a sudden, he should draw his sword, and when he looks at it, it's on fire. Like and only he can see the flames, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" And he puts it down, and it goes out, and he picks it up again, and it's on fire again.
It comes
Like,
back
that's
to him
what
like a Jedi. Zoom, wields the sword.
I will sign off on Jedi powers. I would be okay with that. I'm up for Jedi powers. I'm up for levitation.
You're doing what Call of Duty did, and you're ruining it.
Imagine,
It would be
imagine
fun.
that.
You know what Jon Snow needs to do? He needs to air boost over the giants north of the wall. And
Imagine you just hear it. You just see
Like,
like
no.
Jon Snow.
He should be
full trench coat.
Legolas.
He's got the full
Oh.
trench coat with the wolf pelt on, and he's just walking slow up to like, what would the Game of Thrones equivalent of a telephone booth be? It'd be the Ravens, right? Like he's walking up there, and he's like da-na-na-na-na, 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 as he like writes on a scroll and puts it on the crow, and it's like at the end of the Matrix when he's warning the agents that he's coming or whatever. I would love it if there was a mega Jon Snow, super Jon Snow. I'm okay if he flies like Superman. I really am. I don't care anymore. I don't give a fuck. You know what?
I don't know if I could co-sign on that.
Yeah, you have to. This is my story I'm writing. I'm on my own right now.
no one would
what I
watch your
also
HBO series.
what I also really enjoyed, and it goes back to I don't remember what that video is, but it was from College Humor, and it was like all the things you wish would happen in Game of Thrones, and it was animated, and it was back when Joffrey was still on the show, and it's like Joffrey burns alive, like all of a sudden the Khaleesi is topless on a dragon, and and Tyrion is on a dragon, and they've all got wildfire pistols, and they're all burning the worst people, and Jaime Lannister's like, oh, and I'm good now. And it's like all the things that you really, really wish would happen but never will. And I think my version of that almost came true a little when Tyrion's down there taking the shackles off that dragon, and he's telling the story about when he was a little boy, and he told his uncle that he wanted a dragon, and he told him there were no more dragons, and how he cried terribly. I wouldn't need a big dragon. A little one would do. And he's just like fucking taking the shackle off, and the dragon's like, instead of like chomp, 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 the dragon's like kind of feeling him out a little, and the other dragon's like, all right, yeah, hook me up too, bro. And I'm like, if next episode doesn't begin with him like shit-faced drunk on the back of a dragon flying through the clouds, just like laughing his ass off, I'm going to be a little disappointed, because that's what I want.
Oh, you know what I want?
To...
I would like to see him become the actual ruler of that city. Like he's kind of doing it now in Daenerys' place. I would like them, like the Sons of the Harpies, to be like, you know what? Never mind. This is actually really good leadership. Like the trash is taken out, the streets are clean. This is really operating like a finely oiled machine. Like we're good here.
Is in shit shape after Daenerys did more bad things for that city than any of those slavers. She just shows up on a moral crusade and is like, I don't like any of this, and it's going to change. And everybody's like, all right. And so they change. She murders all the slavers and whatnot, creates a huge power vacuum in this city that had been filled by slaves, because that's where all the industry was. And then she just fucking leaves. And then, like, I don't know, 5 episodes later now, the reporter...
She's Daenerys W.
like,
Bush in Iraq.
Yeah, you know all those places that you conquered a couple weeks ago? Yeah, well, we're not there anymore, and so it's a fucking disaster. And it's your fault. So what are you going to do? Like, she's the worst. She's a terrible leader.
They should have raped her good in the first episode of the season. At the end of last season, I was like, if she doesn't get raped good, I'm going to completely check out of her story, because it's unrealistic that the hottest fucking woman on the planet gets like captured by the barbarian horsemen, and they ask questions before they fuck her. When would that ever happen? They'd be like, oh shit, it's the hottest woman in the world, and we just caught her. Hey, other barbarian horse masters, what should we do? Like,
they were talking about anally raping her in the show, right?
They talked about it. Who talks? These are men of action. That's what the Dothraki are known for. They're great
they were talking about, like,
skills. No, they fucking kill and rape.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not pro-rape. I don't want to see her raped. I just don't want them to... But no, I don't. I really don't.
You did say, I want to see her raped.
Do we need to roll back the tape on this?
No. Let me explain. Let me explain that position. Because I don't want to see her raped. But once they put her in a position in which it's logical for her to be raped, then if she doesn't get raped, I'm disappointed because they've let me down. It's not that I enjoy the rape. It's that, well, you put her in a position where logically she should be raped. So you just went on an illogical turn and sort of lowered my opinion of your show.
It's like when the cliffhanger is the car in midair having driven out of the parking garage, right? If the next thing starts with it on the platform and everything's cool again, no, it had to crash. It was in a position where crashing was the only option.
The only thing I can think of is that, like, Dothraki people like that, for all they know, they could see her and think something like, oh, that's a demon. I know because of her hair. Like, I've heard the stories, this fucking bitch. Like, that could be a thing, but it also, more realistically, it does seem like, season 1, they came off as a very rapey group of people. And now to suddenly see this other group not be rapey at all, like cracking jokes about how Daenerys needed sunscreen when they were riding back. It's like, what is this? Like fucking Frasier? Or are you like a rapist cattle driver? Like what's going on here? Like it was really
they literally did crack jokes about sunscreen.
They can't have them rape like just anyone. Every time a woman comes up to talk to them solo, they can't be like, well, in real life they would fucking rape her. Like you can't do that, because then you can't move the story forward with that. You can't just keep coming back like this time they're going to hear me out.
It's not that they rape every woman they see, but when they conquer or capture something, when they conquer or capture something, then yes. But if it's another Dothraki woman, a woman that's like, there are like laws for respecting her, like or whatever, they're not just raping their own people. They feel like remember they were talking about the lamb men, like they felt like the lamb men were like a lower race of people, and the lamb men weren't like a different race of people necessarily. They were just people who herded lambs instead of being fucking horse lords or whatever the hell. They're super rapey people. When they conquer or capture something, they're taking possession of it, and they just see that, I raped this thing because I captured it. They would have totally raped her in a logical world, and they didn't. So I'm just wondering why I don't like it, and I don't like that actress either. I don't like that she's not topless anymore. I mean, a big part of the books is that her titty is literally hanging out all the time. They mention it all the time. They talk about how what's his name, Jorah, was like distracted. And imagine how great that would be if we had Jorah trying not to look at the titty. Like, imagine those tense conversations they have when he's like, "My Khaleesi, I love you." He's trying to like explain to her that he's so sorry for what he's done, but he can't.
If every scene with every guy
it's always out.
Every scene with every guy for 6 years was them like subtly breaking eye contact.
Yeah, and like she's eating and like dribbles something on her titty, and he's like, Oh, you've got some raspberry jam on your titty. On your
Tiger sounds
teeth.
more like that old fucking maester.
You know, she did have like a boob out all book long. Like, and I kind of feel like that would
She
make
did. That was the
thing
style
better.
there, which is I don't like at all because it's like
I'm a big fan.
I would prefer no boobs out to one out. I want a little bit of symmetry,
One.
not this toga look. You know, that's almost
Oh, I love it.
that's more of a
yeah,
tease than anything.
I feel like the
And-
more
and-
boobs, the better. And
At least then you get an honest nipple appraisal up front. So
An honest nipple appraisal.
which
yes, that's a nice nap.
Look, I don't like that she's refused to do any more nudity because it takes away from the show. It's clear to me that they're shooting around that and that we're not seeing what we would normally be seeing. And I mean, nudity was a big part of the show initially and sort of remains a big part of the show, but not with our main characters. And that's one of the things I appreciate about the show. I'm not like, yeah, show me up titties again. Like, I know where they are. They're on the fucking internet anytime I want to see them. It's about the continuity of the show. It's about keeping the show so at that top tier of reality in my head. This reality meets fantasy mix where, like, things don't go the way you think they are. It's kind of shitty like real life is sometimes. And
Yeah, but
sometimes
people
it just
just don't
hurts because life hurts.
People don't want like rape in the show. Like if there was another
What?
brutal rape
I don't
scene in
care.
this episode after that 2 episodes ago last season, I'd kind of just be like really? Like I get upset at little scenes in Game of Thrones more than other shows, I think, because I always am anal about like, man, they could have spent that time like with Arya. Like, God, if they had had 40 more seconds with Arya, they really could have got through to something. And I know that they're not going to make up for that 40 seconds next episode. You know, they're not going to just start the story again. It's something they could have had.
It's funny,
Just like-
the show's an hour long, yet I always find myself screaming like, man, if there were just 45 more seconds of this. How can, like, where is all this time going? Like, that they're just using, not advancing the plot line, not doing anything cool. The show lasts for an hour.
Stories. There's a lot of stories.
There's so many stories.
When you hit 7 stories, you've only got like 8 minutes per story or something, or less than. You got 7 minutes. 7 stories times 7 minutes is 49 minutes. You know, you can only advance yay far unless you kill people off, and that's what's beautiful about the show. And what I hate that they've done is all of Dorne. Let me tell you why. Because if you cut Dorne out, then all of a sudden everybody else gets 10 or 12 minutes. You could do 5 stories, 11 minutes
do 5
each.
stories really well instead of 6 or
Too
7
many-
stories.
Too
poorly.
much bullshit going on, and whoever's running the crew that's in wherever the hell Dorne is, it's not at that same high quality as the rest of the show. There's definitely
the B
a
team.
disparity there. It's the B team, and it shows for sure. I don't like anything about Dorne. I'm very excited about the show, though. I'm digging the mountain. I was looking at my girlfriend, and I was like, I hope the mountain does something. I before the show, I'll tell her all the things that I think will happen and could happen. I ran through like 8 different scenarios with Jon Snow. I was like, it could happen like this, and this, and that, and one of my 8 was exactly what happened. I knew what would happen, but and before the show, one of the things I was saying was like, I need the mountain to do a thing. I need the mountain to smush something or crush something or like just get that big fucking 8-foot sword out, do a thing. And he did. I liked that he smashed that fucking guy's head and just killed him like a bug. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I'm into this season. I'm looking forward to episode 3 a lot. I got to find a way to make HBO happen on my laptop, I guess, in this fucking slum hole.
Oh, that's quality.
All right.
So we should probably step away from Game of Thrones, unless one of you has something that you want.
I think we should step away because Tucker is bored to tears. He does not know what's going on.
I like to think that just hearing all of this like come out of us, he's just intrigued. Like, what are they even talking about? This show sounds bonkers. Like,
no, it's more like when you guys talk about what level tractors and trucks you own, and it's just like, oh my god, how can there be this many types of boring
55 horsepower, Chiz.
Oh.
You got to get on board.
Do you mean RTS talk? That we do for 20
Yeah,
minutes
see,
a show.
we all have something.
And
And we're
painkiller nearly. Like if we want,
And
let's talk
hockey
about
talk for
16-year-old
Kyle.
video games. Let's do that again.
I'm down to talk about the dwarves for 20, 30 minutes at least. Let's talk about some dwarven lore. Who's up for dwarven lore?
Oh
yeah?
my god. Well, it really hit its stride, the dwarves, when Durin the Third led the other 7 to get their rings forged by the elves that of course Sauron conscripted in the first place, the devious mastermind that he was.
The deceiver.
The Sauron the Deceiver. Yeah, you don't just get handed that nickname. You know, they don't. You know,
No.
they don't write that under your high school
earned
picture.
that.
You know,
He earned that.
You know, like Steve the
There was a
Deceiver
vote.
Smith.
There was a vote. Was it Morgoth? He bestowed that to him personally, I believe.
Most
Yeah.
likely to deceive.
Oh my god. It's not that I don't want to watch Game of Thrones. It's just that I watch TV on airplanes because I travel a lot and I can't watch.
What are you traveling
people
for?
Fucking, like conventions, commercials, etc., etc. I do a lot of traveling now, so I can't watch like tits in like the cabin. Like it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it's that time again, boys and girls. This episode is being brought to you by Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items, as well as pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 4 to 8 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique, one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure to head on over to lootcrate.com/painkiller and enter offer code PAINKILLER. It seems to be in all caps. I don't know if that's necessary, but do it anyway. To save $3 on any new subscription. Loot Crate is more than just a subscription service. It's an entire community of fans that share their experience and interact with each other around the unboxing of each month's crate. They guarantee $40 plus in value in every crate. Sometimes it's much, much more than that. Every month there is a different theme, and all items are curated around that theme. Previous crates have included items from franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, The Walking Dead, The Legend of Zelda, and many, many more. The onslaught of big summer blockbusters makes May the perfect time to celebrate some of pop culture's unstoppable, unrelenting, and unbeatable characters and objects. We've got something you can carry, something for your kitchen, and a cool figure to go with our monthly tea and pen, featuring 2 Marvel items plus Warcraft and Dragon Ball Z. No one crate should have all this power. Remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific time to subscribe and receive that month's crate, and the cutoff happens. Once the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So go on over to lootcrate.com/painkiller and enter offer code painkiller to save $3 on your new subscription today. What are you chirping at me with, Chiz? Do you know how hard it is to fucking read with that thing chirping in my ear? Oh,
Wait, do you have notifications on?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I need to turn that off, I guess.
He bought a new computer, so it's got like...
Yeah, it's brand new. I got Windows 10, too. That's an experience.
How do you like
you
Windows
know-
10? I barely use it.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it. It's a big step up from... It's like Windows 8 got fucked by Windows 7. Notice I didn't say that it's like Windows 7 got fucked by Windows 8. It's the other way around. Like, Windows 7 was the top, and it bent Windows 8 over and penetrated it fiercely, and out came Windows 10, which is a pretty usable system that I like and I'm learning. And
I believe that's what
has
David Pogue said in the New York Times, too, in his review.
Yeah. Well,
He did
not everyone
say
can.
that.
Not everyone can be as eloquent as I can.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Poor
He
guy.
probably just doesn't have the background and the training, I'm sure.
Jesus.
But yeah, I'm digging it a lot.
Huh.
Should we do a where'd Taylor go? I had questions for Taylor.
What
Do you want to do another ad?
What was your question for Taylor? I'm curious about that.
I want to ask more about his venison hunting, because I don't think was that on the I don't think we got to that. Oh no, we did. That was on PKN. We talked about that. That's right.
You guys mentioned Dragon Ball Z. You guys watch any anime?
Only when
No,
paid
that's a
to.
swing and a miss in the crowd. That's fine.
Every
I
now
was
and then
just
we
curious.
literally get paid to watch anime, and if I'm going to be like reading an ad read and saying one of my favorites is Ruby, whatever the fuck it was, I feel like I should at least be that be true. So I watched a good bit of a couple things, and I hated it. I really hated it a lot.
Really?
And it's not that I'm anti-animation. I'm just anti-Japanese animation. Like I just don't like their. It's not that I'm xenophobic or racist or anything. I just don't like their culture and their people.
No, we get it. You hate Chinese people and Japanese people, and you hate all Asians. Like it's fine.
And don't forget Koreans.
Well,
I really
not
feel
all
like you left
Korean,
out.
you're right. Koreans and Vietnamese people as well.
Most especially the fucking Koreans. Did I mention the soda thing that happened in the lobby?
The soda thing?
I'm in the lobby of this very nice Korean hotel. I only mentioned it was Korean because it was just shocking that everything there was in Korean and it smelled like a Chinese restaurant. There was a Chinese restaurant there. It was a Korean
Chinese restaurant
We
and a
put-
Korean place.
It smells like
border.
Korean.
They
There's
border.
a
It
Chinese
smells the
restaurant there.
same.
It smells like Korean.
You know, that's interesting, don't you think? That like, if someone said, "It smells like American food," and they're like, "No, that's Mexican food." Well, they border. Of course, they smell alike. But I feel like it's actually true with Korean food and Chinese food. They smell exactly the same to me. I think some of the main ingredients are the same. But anyway,
South Korea doesn't really have any contact with China though.
North Korea does,
and North Korea doesn't even have food.
This was a North Korean hotel. I like to feel like it felt that way to me. I felt
grass.
a presence there of anger and like maybe we're being watched the whole time, but we're in the lobby checking in, and the guy was really nice, and I had a full Coke that I just had gotten from Jack in the Box, and I've got excuse me, 2 roller bags, and I go to like leave the lobby to like go up to my room, and I drop the full gigantic large Coke from Jack in the Box, and it just tumbles end over end in slow motion toward the floor, and it lands upside down on the floor and literally explodes. Like it went pop, and the top of, and like the lid like fractured and like just flew off, and Coke just sprayed everywhere. And I'm talking about, this thing was completely full. It's like 24 ounces of soda are just all over this nice floor, and the guy didn't notice. But I just checked in, so he knows who the fuck I am. I can't slink away. I've got Coke all over me anyway, so I'm just like, excuse me, I'm sorry, I dropped my soda and it spilt on the floor. He goes, oh, did you? And I'm just like, yeah, I did. I'm like, I happily clean it if maybe you've got some paper towels. He's like, no, we clean. And I felt like shit. I felt so bad about not being there.
He's
to, like,
Korean. He might have dry
cleaned
cleaned your stuff too. You should have just handed it to him. So I'm just saying, we're all thinking it, right?
I felt bad though, and I came down later and looked, and the whole lot, it had like pooled. It didn't just pool. It like made a stream and like went all the way across the lobby. And they've got all these caution signs around, and I'm like, fuck, I've ruined the lobby of this place. Like they got signs up, and they're having to direct people around my mess. It was terrible. I felt really bad.
Yeah. Well,
at least
you could have offered to help him clean up.
I did offer to help, and then let me tell you this: I woke up and I felt sick. I don't know why, but I vomited yesterday morning. Whenever I got up, I just felt I hadn't had anything to eat the night before, and I think my blood sugar was just low. I had a Wings of Redemption moment, and I just got really weak and shaky and clammy and pale, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up any second now, and all there was this big Korean like urn type thing, and I'm looking at it like I might have to puke in this fucking urn. I'm hitting the elevator button, like click, 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 click. And I'm looking in the urn to see like how like sacred it is or whatever. And there's like some sand in the bottom and like a bubblegum wrapper and like the bottom of like a sucker, like a Tootsie Roll Pop or something, just a stick. There's some trash in there. So I'm like,
Oh.
And I didn't vomit in it, but I did spit in it, and it was a little vomity spit that had came up and burnt a little.
When you have to go like,
like you have to
like really get it off your tongue. So I did that in their urn, and but then the elevator showed up, so I go down to the garage, and it was really cool down there and cold, and I felt like, and I vomited all in a trash can down there, and it was just nobody. I kept looking to see if anybody's seeing me vomiting in public because I feel like that's.
And why were you sick?
I don't know. It wasn't nerves. It really wasn't, because I wasn't nervous to go at all. I knew that all I was going to be doing for like the first half of the day was getting in my suit or whatever and getting dressed.
I know what you're talking about. Like sometimes if I go a really long time without eating as well, or like I just like if I miss dinner and then I don't eat lunch the next day and it's been like 19 hours, you start to just like almost get like a dry heaving feeling, where like your stomach is super tight, and if you have a drink of water, it's like it wants to come back up. I know what you're talking about.
I've had that, yeah.
It was definitely like a low blood sugar thing too, because as soon as I got like a Sierra Mist and like guzzled like 2 mouthfuls, I could instantly feel better. It was like magic. It was like metabolizing instantly and going into my brain and making me feel good again. So maybe I do have a bit of an issue with soda. They're piled up everywhere here. There's no trash can in this place. They don't have it. Now that's on them. So when I leave this place, fucking like it's gonna look like a homeless man lived in here. It just
probably
because I'm
probably
gonna,
used to it.
like I don't know what to do with this box of eaten pizza because there's not a fucking trash can. There is one, but it's one of those hotel trash cans. It's like yay big and like that tall. That's suitable for like your used tissue and maybe a Q-tip.
You could crush the can.
Crush what can?
Step on the can. You'll fit lots of
Oh.
them in the.
Well, it's not. I got like a 12-pack over there. I mean, I'm up here stomping on cans.
Just saying.
That's not my responsibility. I think I'm just gonna leave them in a big.
That's not my responsibility.
That's,
What do you
and I
think
didn't go
this
to school
is?
for that. What if I cut my foot or something? I was about to go into Lord of the Rings talk, but I won't do that. Let's
No,
steer
go
away.
ahead.
I was going to talk about when Sean Austin or Aston, whatever, stepped on that broken bottle in the river or whatever when he's going out. He's no, Mr. Frodo, don't leave me or whatever. You know, when Frodo's trying to go off on his own, he stepped on a glass bottle and severely cut his foot open, like dozens of stitches, I think, like across the middle of his foot, and fucked himself up there.
He did. Yeah. Yeah, he really fucked his foot up. And oh, is he saying fucking don't get into Lord of the Rings talk? Okay, Chiz. All right, fine. We won't go into the long, illustrious lore that is Middle Earth, all the histories and battles, and people of repute.
We were talking
What
about.
is Chiz? Chiz, what are you really into? Like I feel like Taylor and I and Woody even have passions for certain fantasy.
Late 19th century.
We've all got passions. What's yours?
I don't know. Yeah. I want to know like what fantasy world or sci-fi world like what sort of like nerdy thing are you into that you like I love Star Trek, not so much Star Wars.
I'm in, Taylor
Chiz bought me
has-
Chimney Sweep Simulator 2006 on Steam.
I'm impressed with
That I just
Taylor's
needed to get
knowledge
the
of like. So I've watched all the Lord of the Rings movies many times, several times, not many. I've read all 3 or 4 books if you include The Hobbit. I feel like I know Lord of the Rings, yet when I hear Taylor talk about it, I feel like I don't. Like
That's
it's
because
like-
he
I-
read the fucking. Go
The
ahead.
Silmarillion. Yeah, which
What-
is just so the Silmarillion is a book where it's basically like if J.K. Rowling just had so much more to say about Harry Potter that she was like, all right, and this book over here that I'm writing doesn't really have anything to do, like the story's all wrapped up, but I just have to let you know like how the dinner parties were and everything that was happening behind the scenes, and it's like a bunch of stuff that's really not necessary, but
Background.
ridiculously detailed, and it's so
Dude,
jumbled
the-
it is hard to follow because he'll
books
just
are
it's like
so-
he's in his own head
No,
going
no,
through
not
the
those
history
kind
of
of
what
details.
he remembers, saying like, oh, and then the cave trolls actually they came from here and this is what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I forgot also with the elves like
And it's
just
macro details,
crazy.
not micro details, like you're thinking about, Woody. You're thinking about micro details,
Yeah,
like
the
when you're at a
micro
party,
details
he's
in this
describing
book.
everything about a
He
character.
takes 2 pages. He will take 2 pages to describe how dark it is, and it's a lot of darkness. I won't go through it all, but
In the Silmarillion,
Yeah.
however, it's more macro. He'll tell you a whole fucking story about like, you probably think that Sauron is the bad guy, but he's not. He's like one of the. There's a Satan character and a God character, and Sauron isn't even Satan. He's like a demon that's being bossed around by Satan. And the same thing with Gandalf. He's more like an angel. There's a whole background that goes into like the religious implications and everything, and just character arcs, and then all those nitty gritty details about the dwarves and the elves and where they came from and where they're going and who their ancestors were and what their ancestors did and all the interplay that was had, and it's just silly. It's too much. It's too much.
I couldn't get into it. I tried to read The Hobbit after reading like the trilogy, and I was like, "Oh, okay, boys. Like we're gonna have to."
The Hobbit's the easiest
everything.
read. That one I thought was quick. I read it first.
It was quick. It's just like you said, the amount of detail that he goes into, not just with The Hobbit, but with everything. I was just like, I don't
burnt out.
I don't have time or like to process through all of what I've just read. Like I'm just gonna skip. Like, is he still talking about how dark it is? Like, cool, let's go on. Like I just. I love reading, and I've been reading more and more, but like I still can't bring myself to read a book of that density, that much
So
info.
what I know how you feel. I can get into a pattern where I'm reading and it becomes almost a speed reading competition with myself, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
absorb quickly. But then I find that I don't enjoy it nearly as much. It's just like food. You should slow down and savor a fine meal. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same way with a book. If you try to speed read and absorb it quickly, or maybe just read at the same pace that you would read an article or a magazine, that doesn't quite cut it if you want the 100% full surround sound experience that is reading anything and everything. If you slow down and you really start imagining yourself in that situation, and like when he's talking about Jon Snow hammering those spikes into the wall as he slowly climbs, and how they're using the felt hammer so that it doesn't make any noise because the bad guys are waiting up there, and if they hear us, then we're in a terrible position. We're climbing a wall of stone and ice, and they're just up there on their perch. They can shoot us with arrows. We can't make any noise, and how scary it is, and how his fingernails are getting ripped off, and the blood's pouring, and his hands are numb, and every step is terrible, and on, and he slips, and like if you take it slow, then you're up there with him. You're hammering ice spikes. You're imagining your fingernails ripped off, and maybe you've had that happen before. You're thinking back to how much it hurt, and I feel like it's a much better experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So I don't mind details. I eat the details up. I've read all the Harry Potter books, and I like when she's talking about the feasts and all the meats and the succulent pies and the roast this and the boiled that. I like it.
Yeah, but there's a difference between that and like what he will do. It's just like there's a nice middle ground between like we went here and we did this and this is how we did it, and and I'm going to explain to you how it felt to take a step on an unseated rock for 45 minutes. Like, there's like a...
Have you
read
Lord of the Rings, Kyle?
Pardon?
Have you read Lord of the Rings? Those three
Nope.
books? No, yeah. It sounds like Tucker has, because he's right. I think was he on his way to fight some giant spider in the scene you're thinking of? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about.
It's just like...
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I get it. The rocks, they kind of move when you step on them. No. Take a seat, young man. Let me explain the rocks to you. And you're just like, oh my God. Like it's...
That's why Shelob's Lair was such a good part of that book.
Shelob, that's what it
because
was.
you were constantly... It took so long to get there, it was out of control. Where it was just like, I kept flipping to different chapters, and it's like, there's no fucking way that they're still here. Everybody else is busting ass all over Middle Earth, and these guys have been on a rock for 2 chapters, like, debating, like, well, I mean, should we go in? There's a big fucking spider up there. That's a good point. Should we go
Can you
back?
imagine,
Dude,
though?
it's so steep.
Dude,
Well,
Taylor,
let's
would
just
you
go to the
rewrite
rocks.
this book? Because it's
Like-
better
like,
when you
as
sell
I-
it.
As I hear this, I'm like, yeah, maybe that's better. That you're just sitting there for 2 chapters reading, and you're like, fuck, I wish they'd just go in. But then you're like listening to them argue over it. I wouldn't want to go in there. That's one of the most daunting things that happens in the whole story. When they go into Shelob's lair, and he's a hobbit. He's a little guy, right? He's so tiny in comparison to this enormous fucking thing, and it's a spider. I don't like spiders this big. And this thing is as big as a cow. It's awful. It's
The
so
way that its mouth
terrifying.
does like the... It's just horrible.
fucking
Like I
terrible.
can just imagine like you're laying down. You're not even afraid of like getting killed anymore. It's just like its weird spider tongue just like slaps you in the neck. You're you're just fending away.
You're just stabbing yourself over and over. You won't take me.
Just gurgling at Frodo in that weird rap as he's passing out. Sam's just kill me. Just killing himself.
That would have been dark. What? See now. That's what would happen if what's his name that writes Game of Thrones wrote those books. That was what would have happened. Sam would have died. Sam would have been like, he'd have died terribly, and he'd have been like the venom would be like slowly, like it would be like necrosis. It'd be like eating his flesh, but at a pace that was like creeping, and you could see. And he's like, "Kill me, Mr. Frodo! Kill me!" And he's like, "You're my Sam! You're my Sam! Mr. Frodo, please!" And he's just like, "Ah!" But they go to the silhouette, the shadows, and you see Frodo finally penetrate Sam, and it's
Finally.
sort of it is a little. It's kind of symbolic there, like a little bit. A little
I
something
think that
implied.
if it were an HBO series, there would at least be some sort of charged embrace, or maybe like a second and a half kiss, like a teaser, almost like the end of Inception, where you're like, is that top spinning or is it not? I don't know. Like you looked at the kiss between Sam and
Just
Frodo,
getting
and you're
really
like, are they gay
close.
or is this just like too long of a kiss before you die? Like a tease.
If
I don't know.
Tolkien had wrote the Wendy's ad read, we'd still be talking about cheese right now, 2 hours into the show. So
Let me
Melted
explain the
cheese
shape of
cascading
this.
over mountains of beef.
Yeah, he loves food so much. It's so evident. I hope he survives to finish these books off. It's gonna be a real downer if he eats himself to death before we get these books. Oh, so I think I was talking about how it'd be cool to have Wings do his own Airbnb, and this experience that I've had has only reinforced that. My idea, Tucker, is that Wings should open his place up as an Airbnb because he's kind of home alone these days. He's got 5 total bedrooms.
Right.
Advertise on YouTube, talk about it, film everything. Get like 5 fucking GoPros, position them so we've got angles, and move the furniture around if you need to. Like frame up the living room. That's a shot. You could make a sitcom out of this.
Live stream.
He's got a guy who'll edit. Oh, a live stream. Oh, if you could switch through the cams.
God.
Like, would you like to see what's going on in bedroom number 3? You go to bedroom number 3, and it's Wings shaving some old man real slowly. Wings just kind of looks over you and nods and just goes back to shaving. The old man just nods too. It goes to camera 3. You see Kelly like banging his wife in bedroom number 2. You like cut away real quick. Oh shit! Don't want to do that.
It's gonna be like, remember that scene in The Shining when
they're doing rails off the table?
Remember that scene in The Shining where the wife is like running up the stairs after Jack's gone crazy, and she's just with a knife and looks down the stairway, and that creepy music plays, and she just sees like that dude laying back on the bed and like a guy in a bear suit filleting him, and they just sit up and look at her. That's what it would be like at Wings Airbnb. Just nonsense happening in all the rooms. Just complete mayhem.
Hey, man.
I want it so bad. I want it so bad. Wings could make so much money. And you know what else? You want to know another way that Wings could make so much money? And this won't happen. It'll never fucking happen. But if I were like if I had that, we talk about $1 billion, $10 billion, I would make this happen no matter what it cost me. If it cost me $10 million, I'd make it happen. COD 4 is coming out, remastered, BOG. You rematch Wings of Redemption and Syndicate on BOG. COD 4 mastered. You fucking you sell tickets to it. Maybe even do it in an arena and do a big fan meetup where everybody promotes it. You pay fucking tickets, get to watch them head to head. Chairs facing each other, PCs between facing the other way. They're fucking gaming. They're fucking going at each other. And like add some rules in there that'll allow like some trash talking and maybe a separate component aside from the gaming. Like maybe they can fuck with each other a little. I'd buy tickets to see that thing.
Kyle, have you seen Syndicate talk about this?
No. He's talking
He brings it up about once every 6 months. It just depends on how it comes into play, but he does talk about it a lot.
So what happened was when he learned of COD 4 Remastered, what's that, a week ago? He wrote like M16 1v1 on BOG with like a smiley face or something. So a lot of people got excited about it. And, it's suddenly like a real possibility. And I guess he got nagged about it enough that he went on I hate to call it a Twitter rant, but maybe 8 tweets or something like that. And
really?
And I think it's only fair to say, very rudely said the summary of it, and I'm hoping Chiz finds these links, was that he doesn't like Wings. He doesn't want to do anything to help Wings. Rest in peace, Wings' career. Like that was his current stance on it.
Sure.
And a lot of people took that as kind of inelegant. They called him a cunt.
All right. Well, let's go to the second, the number 2 person that Wings hates and hates Wings. Let's get Dr. Chiz to 1v1 him on BOG. Let's do that.
Does Wings hate Dr. Chiz?
Yeah, Wings hates Dr. Chiz. Of course he does.
Oh, yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Join the club.
He does not. Yeah, no. Actually, Wings invited him on his I guess they have a private podcast.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually trying to trigger Chiz to speak because Chiz hasn't spoken on the show in a long time. I feel like if I back him into enough corners and say enough bad things about him,
He'll say something eventually.
He'll have to step up and defend himself. So I'm just going worse and worse with it. He's gonna be a real nefarious individual if he doesn't pipe up in an episode or 2.
I'm pumped for
how did
that.
this pan out with Syndicate and Wings?
I think Chiz might have left. Oh no, he's there.
Who started? Did Wings reach out and say hey, I want to do the BOG thing, or were Wings fans or PKA fans saying it? More than likely.
I'm sure anyone who saw the first one wants to see a second one because it was such a crazy little moment, and it was so so much has been made of the moment. More was made of it than it was actually worth, in my opinion. It's a kind of a nutty moment.
100%.
He lost his cool.
Taylor had a question though. Let me answer it since I know it. So fans were poking it at Syndicate, but also on Wings' podcast, they talked about it for like 10, 15 minutes. And the gist of it was Wings said that he would win 9 times out of 10, that was a complete anomaly. Wings said that he has way more skill than that other guy. Wings said that it was really my fault for setting up the rules wrong, that it should have been radar always on and no timer. I by the way, if this gets to Wings, I take exception to that. Like, he didn't ask for any specific rules. All he asked for was, like, so Wings set up the map bug. Wings, at the time, I don't know if it's still true, but what he was really good at was long distance aiming. You know, you could call it camping, but like at a distance, picking off a guy where only 1 or 2 pixels is showing was the thing that Wings really excelled at, that gameplay. He wasn't running, gunning, killing people in the same building. He was picking off those guys from camping positions. So when he set up M16 red dot bog, he set up the game to be like his forte. And I happen to know that he had been like playing some of that recently. You know, like it's 1v1ing with his friends. Like it was his current trend. And I was the host in North Carolina. Wings was in South Carolina, and Syndicate was in England. And so Wings set up the map. He told, you know, what the guns he had to use, and he had practically host advantage. And he still, like, I just don't like that they're dragging me into it. Like, oh, that's bullshit. Woody didn't have radar on and no time limits.
Can I just say that also on top of that, one, like if you're going to talk to anybody that's going to do any 1v1 competition on Call of Duty 4 and they're going to start off by saying it's not shipment, then that in itself is kind of like, well, why? Like, what is shipment going to do for you?
I do my 1v1s on what, Creek?
Showdown.
I do Creek, snipers only, Gillion, but like, but like, not only that, but everybody, like the de facto rule set was radar off anyways. Like the whole point of it was just like, it was supposed to be game sense only and in a small enough space that it doesn't drag out. Oh, here's the tweets.
Yeah,
Yay!
I don't get red dot, or not red dot, radar always on. That seems like it's just whoever sits still longer wins.
That sounds
1v1.
right.
Holy shit, this is a lot of tweets.
Oh my god, someone give me
these. Oh
Chiz,
my
do
god.
I read these from bottom to top or top to bottom? I don't know how to read these. He's
Top to
still
bottom.
top to bottom.
Top to bottom. Do I start at the white one or the black one?
The white one.
I think there might from Twitter white. Okay, all right. So top to bottom. Looks like and all right. Anyway, Keemstar.
How does this even happen with these two people? Sorry. Go for it.
Keemstar wrote to H3H Productions, "No, don't give Leafy a platform to defend himself." I don't know why he says this. Syndicate wrote. Go on.
Preface. H3H3 and Leafy both had a beef. Man, I hate the current trend. Everybody just hates everybody. But they had this beef, you know, about just like shitty content and shitty people and making fun of kids with, you know, mental disabilities,
and stuff,
etc. Right. Leafy and H3H3 were talking about another guy, and H3 said, "Don't give him a platform to defend himself on YouTube." So Leafy.
Keem said that.
Yeah, no. H3 said that to Leafy. Leafy posted that DM on a video, and Keem is like tagging in, you know, jest like, don't, you know, using his words against him. Don't give him a platform to defend himself on. So it's complicated.
So then Syndicate wrote, "You're all childish fuck. Learn to make videos without breaking controllers." Keem wrote, "Haha, please do the rematch." Syndicate wrote, "You think I'd waste my time on that? No thanks. Rest in peace to the deceased." Keem wrote, "For charity. If you say no, you're a ballsack." Syndicate wrote, "The last time he tried to pay me to lose the rematch so he could regain his dignity, hashtag rest in peace career," which I thought was very mean. But it was also a bad idea on Wings' part. Keem wrote, "Fuck you. We offered you 10 grand for the rematch. Wings lied and wanted you to take the fall, not me." I have no idea what
I didn't even know what that was, but...
Oh, hey, change of topic. The PKA Knives will be up tomorrow at 5. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., which will be Friday. So for all of you Patreons that are hearing it like 4 a.m. Friday morning, it'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Kitty's Twitter, Paintball Kitty. We were trying to figure out how to where to send people, but she's gonna have the page will be ready to go, and she's gonna link it from there. But she wanted to make sure everyone knows this is for the PKA Knives with the laser engraved and everything, and you'll be able to see the knife and everything on an Etsy store that she's setting up. But she wanted to warn everyone that sometimes when there's a big rush on an Etsy store, that it can get locked down, and they can like lock the account and put you on some probationary period for like 12 hours or something. So if you're trying to buy a knife and it won't let you, then check back in half an hour, or maybe just follow Kitty on Twitter and she'll keep you updated. Or I'm sure Woody can relay messages through his Twitter as well. But they'll be on there, and all the details for them will be there. I think that's all I needed to cover with that. Yeah. So yeah,
Well,
those
it's
knives
very
are coming.
exciting.
They're all done. Hot sauce is ordered. It's on the way. So gears turning and things happening. And I think whenever I get done with this like month-long excursion that I've made to Los Angeles, maybe we'll do one of those in-person PKAs, because I think that'd be a ball. And I'd like a real vacation where I'm not, afraid.
Yeah, a real vacation in a real hotel with real TVs and one mattress.
I would love, just one mattress at a time. You know what? I'd really like to have my gun. I feel like I'd feel a lot better if I had my gun. I just feel like if somebody comes in here, like I said, I just got the iron. I just, fucking steam them, bash them a little, but I know I can't take more than one. Not with an iron. What are we going to do?
You're not even going to be able to take one with an iron unless you get the least prepared burglar of all time.
Maybe he stumbles in, he's he's incoherent and he doesn't realize that he stumbled into my apartment, and I don't know what kind of burglar I'm dealing with Taylor. I'm just doing the best I can over here. I got this lamp. This lamp weighs like 30 fucking pounds. I can't wield that.
Honestly, I'd let the burglar come in and I'd be like, take anything you want. I will stop you if it's my thing. And so he'd like go and he'd look and he'd pick it up and I'd be like, it's fine. So A-okay. And then he'd go for my thing and I'd be like, honestly,
collect your shit in there,
no.
And then just be like, everything else outside this table.
Everything not in this corner or in that backpack, all yours. Go hog wild. Take as long as you want to.
There is nothing in this place worth taking that I do not own. I guarantee it. And
Nice
all the furniture is fucking what?
I was gonna say, look at that window unit.
It's like a 16-inch wide Zenith. That thing, there's a reason I'm not running it. It doesn't even do anything. It just makes noise. It just goes.
White Zenith.
Yeah, it doesn't even put out cold air.
Mercedes.
It doesn't put out
It's
cold
the
air?
Mercedes.
Barely. It's so nice here. I don't need it. It really, like, I can open the window and it's really nice outside. It's, I don't know, 60s, 70s, something like that.
That stinks, though. When I travel, like, so at home, my AC's not on like 65 or something. But when I'm in a hotel, sometimes that's when, like, I'm going to need all these covers. Bring in some extra blankets. We're turning the AC on to 2.
What he splurges with the energy consumption when it's on somebody else's dime.
I'm the same way. Walk into that hotel at 66 degrees. I'm sleeping well tonight. Like, I'm not getting uncomfortably cold ever.
He pees in the toilet and he's like, oh, I can flush it down. That's not my water, baby. Flush it down. All right. Woo! He's watching it. Wow. Yeah.
You don't see this
Don't
at
even
home.
care.
Jesus.
What are you typing over here, Chiz?
He's talking about the hockey game. Don't let it
hockey.
disturb the game of the show.
Oh, you know what I was talking about the other day? Instead of hockey, I'd like to see ice rugby. Now, I think that would be a fun sport. Imagine the speed of the skates and everything. Some rules to keep them from just going from one end to the other. Slow the game down a little bit. So there's some, you have to have so many players on certain sides of the line on the ice or whatever. But I like that idea of all these guys wrestling and fighting out there. I think the inclusion of the sticks is just silly.
It would not work at all. Have you ever seen, like, the reason that, like, it's hard to fight as a hockey player is because, like, the whole time you're not like a boxer in a ring. Where every punch you throw, it's like you're on one of those swivel things. So it's like your foot's back here now because you're throwing punches. Like, every time you're trying.
Skates. So on ice rugby skates, ice rugby skates. So you've got the blade, right, like on a normal skate, but on ice rugby skates, I feel like you put like a T up on the front somewhere. So like the toe, under the toe.
So you're just walking slowly, like you're through thick snow.
No, so
What
it's
you
multiple.
do is you
like
fucking
roll over on your toe and you can push and you can shove.
Yeah, it's like the roller skates from when you were a kid. They had the rubber stopper on the toe. So you just, when you want to throw a punch, you just dig your feet in there and you just wail on them, and then you just go back to skating. That's genius.
I'd rather have ice rugby than hockey, if I'm being completely honest. It sounds like a ball.
Hockey's pretty cool to watch, even though if you're not a fan, though. Like, I don't care at all about hockey, but I'll go to a hockey game and watch somebody play. Like, that seems fun.
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
a fun sport.
I definitely agree with that. I tried to. I started watching the Blues game the other day, and I watched the first period. And after the first period, I fell asleep. I slept through the second period, and then I watched the third period. I don't know. I liked it, I guess, but I don't really have a dog in the fight. And it, sometimes it's just like, wow, they've just been hitting it back and forth for like 2 minutes now with no real like cool action. I don't know. I get bored with it a little bit. But I've been to a couple of hockey games before, and I always like that. So I think there are a lot of sports like that. I hate watching baseball on TV most of the time, unless it's a playoff game that I really care about, which is extremely rare. But I've been to baseball games and always enjoy that, and basketball games even more so. I always loved like mainly high school basketball games. Those were always so much fun going there because you're pretty close to the action in basketball, and I feel like you can see what's going on pretty well.
Yeah, are you sure it's not all the 16 through 18-year-olds in the crowd?
Well, I was over there last week, and
oh no, there was no basketball game. Just browsing around.
I was just over there.
well,
Checking in.
The cheerleaders are getting out there early and stretching and stuff, and I like to be there for moral support, and
Like to be able to walk them to their car afterward, make them feel safe.
I'm usually lying in wait out in the parking lot when they get there, so don't really walk to there as much as I kind of lie in wait. That's more my game.
Underneath.
Call me the
car.
spider. Yeah.
Okay.
None of that's true.
Well, anyway, enough about you getting close to raping high schoolers. let's find a way out of that. Out of that.
All right.
I think we
Is an
should
Ask
talk
Reddit
about-
question? Oh, go ahead. You go.
Go ahead.
No,
Yeah, I think
we need to do yours.
Yeah, we'll lead to one of our beloved sponsors, and who better than MeUndies? You wear underwear every day. That's 365 days a year, rain or shine. You need it to be extraordinary without an insane price tag. MeUndies understands this, and that's why they have created the world's most comfortable underwear. And I swear to God, it really is. Luxury at half the retail price you'd find anywhere else. The use of revolutionary material named modal. It's a fabric that's twice as soft as cotton. That's twice as soft as whatever you're wearing right now. And most of us wear underwear every day, so why settle for low-quality multi-pack underwear that's scratchy and lame? MeUndies has tons of colors and styles for both men and women, which means you and your lady can finally have matching underwear. They release a new design every month, and on top of that, they even have free shipping to the United States and Canada. MeUndies has a money-back guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you get to keep it for free. That's right. They don't want your used underwear back, so you have nothing to lose. The best part about all of this is that they're offering 20% off your first order when you use our URL, MeUndies.com/PKA. So click the link in the description or go to MeUndies.com/PKA to get 20% off your first order. We've talked about these guys a lot, and I really do mean it. Whenever someone touches this underwear for the first time, they always go, "Ooh, you weren't kidding. I thought you were kidding. I thought you're just hyping it up because it's a sponsor or because it's an ad." This really is kind of like velvet, like lotion or something. Like it's like if you've ever gotten 500 thread count sheets and they're just so luxurious. I don't know. Maybe this isn't like playing well with too many people. They're like, no, I've never had 500 thread count sheets, but it's similar to that. They feel really, really nice. I am a big fan. And we've talked about, they make your dick look better. They really lift and present it well. I feel
as
like
it deserves.
It's like
Very important. Very important.
It really reduces the whole, like, when you sit down and you're wearing boxers and everything's just like between your legs and it starts to sweat and then it's just festering there. This takes everything and it kind of goes, it pulls you out of that pit of, like, near the asshole, like where your legs come together. It pulls you out of there. And it gets rid of all the sweat in that
When you
area.
go to a high-end restaurant, they don't just slop it on a plate and deliver it. No, it's like, think of the dessert, right? It's in the center of an unusually large plate with chocolate sauce, zigzagging across the whole dessert. Why? It's all
about presentation.
It's all about presentation. Exactly. It makes your cock like a high-end restaurant.
It's sizzle, not the steak.
Quote.
Ready to be gobbled up.
Penis is guaranteed to look at least 15% larger in MeUndies. So.
All right. Here,
put it
round
all
table,
right.
guys. This is an Ask Reddit thing. Your last text message is the only thing you're allowed to scream during sex. What is it?
Oh no,
I don't know.
It's to my mom. Oh, it's to my dad. Land Saturday morning.
I thought
Delays are common, I'd say.
Not sure. I'd say the winner of this one wins the series.
mine's just sure.
Sure.
That's a lot to yell. Why even bother anymore if that's all you...
I
I mean,
thought
are people screaming things anyway? Like, if you're so into screaming that you have to, even if that's the only thing you can scream. I don't know. Seems
I
weird.
thought my message was going to be something different, but that turned out to be Skype. I thought it was going to be, "Is Taylor here?"
Yeah.
But I wrote that on Skype.
Because you always typed that before. Anyway.
It was at the start of the show.
Yep. So, Chiz.
Trying to think what I got going on. Chiz stepped away for a minute. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else I want to share about my trip or what's going on here. We've had an interesting couple days.
Holy shit. Sorry, this actually might be interesting. I just got an email. Apparently, the FTC has just ruled that if you are doing a sponsored stream on Twitch, you have to legally add a PNG on the stream, and it must be up there the entire time it's there. I wonder if they're going to move in and do that with video as well. Not just an ad card that's at the beginning of the video, but literally there the entire time.
What's a PNG?
It's a file type, so like an image. So it literally, the one that I got as a demo is just a square, and it says paid ad content, and then the Overwatch logo, because I'm doing a campaign with Overwatch. So that means that I have to verbally call out. Like currently, I remember the good old days where you didn't have to say anything.
Was
that's
that
obviously
good? I hated that.
No, that's not good, but I meant like, back in the day, you didn't have to disclose anything. Obviously, really immoral and conflict of interest, but now, that means that basically you start your stream, the title has to say sponsored by or ad, whatever. You have to have a disclaimer that it is verbally called out that it's an ad. Now you have to have an image that's on top of the entirety of the thing saying that's an advertised product. It's kind of crazy, like,
I love
just how fast they've been moving on it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying how fast they moved on it.
It is, yeah.
How long...
Just like 3 years ago, the sponsors almost didn't want to disclose anything. They wanted it to seem really organic.
Yeah.
And and if you're in a deal like that, shit. Like, it was always me. Like, there'd be like 8 people doing the same thing, and then there's hate videos about me, and it was like, fuck, but like, what am I supposed to do? I guess not do it at all. But now, I feel like there's laws that protect that, and you just say, hey, this is sponsored by whoever, and I wouldn't mind that at all. Heck, PKA already appears to be already set up for this, because our show has there's nothing hidden about our sponsorships. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's moving along quick. I kind of like it. It's a move towards honesty, and as a content creator, I feel like I'm protected from people who want to fake it.
Yeah. I would never say that transparency is a bad thing. It's always a good. In fact, since transparency moved in, it's no longer like, oh my God, you're paid to do this. It's like, no. Like if I go to Chipotle and I'm like, fuck yeah, I love Chipotle. Somebody will come in and be like, dude, this is fucking paid. And somebody will be like, there's clearly no disclaimer. It's paid. It's not paid. Don't worry about it. That's helped out a lot. It's not a bad thing. Transparency is always good. I was just shocked that within the short time frame, I wouldn't even say 3 years, I'd say a year and a half, the FTC went from not caring to like, no, you got to do everything this way. Like, this is the way it has to be. It's not a gray area anymore. So they moved fast.
Yeah, they're practically political messages, right? My name is Tucker, and I support this product.
I have to start every video. Hi, I'm Tucker, and I support MeUndies.
Right?
Not because they support me right back. Why wouldn't you support me? I'm wearing these things right now. They feel so great.
Yeah. It's a symbiotic relationship.
I was
fill
trying
them out
on.
and they keep you in.
So I was in wardrobe, and I didn't know what to expect because I'm getting a suit tailored, and I've never done that before. And my tailor is a pretty attractive young lady, and I'm wearing the MeUndies, and I come out in this first pair of pants, and you can see my dick real well through these pants. It's like, damn, there's my dick, and I didn't know what to do. Because on one hand, I feel like it's my job, it's her job to know that my dick is showing through these pants. She needs to know. And so I just figured I'd just make sure that she found out her own. So I just kind of looked away and like gave her some room to investigate. And pretty soon she was like, let's try on some different pants. Yeah.
That's not something that you want to be hiding when you're getting fitted for something, because you need it to fit right. So if it makes your ass look weird, or you can see like your ball sack or dick there, like that needs to be something immediately like, okay, well, let's nip this one. Don't need to check these pants out anymore. Let's get some other ones. Like,
yeah,
true.
That would have been awful if you just kind of like stood awkwardly, let them get it okay, and then you're out there walking around, and they're like,
would it have been
God.
awful? I feel like the project would have been really funny.
They probably don't want him to be really funny in his scenes.
I don't know. You saw those photos of me in wardrobe.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and you add like I'm wearing like a double-breasted suit and like combat boots with that. It's pretty silly. It's good shit. I'm having a lot of fun with this thing. I think it's gonna be great. We're not doing anything till Monday, so I got the whole weekend to
3-day weekend.
Yeah, just sit in that weird little apartment, I guess, and
You can do.
I eat takeout, eat delivery food. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna sit here, play Command of Heroes or Company of Heroes, eat delivery food, and that's it. That's what I'm gonna do until Monday. I got nothing else to do, and I hate this city. I hate like exploring it. I don't want to explore it. Every time I see a new like avenue of this city, I hate it. All these places that look so nice on television or have been described to me. Like someone was talking about Pink's hot dogs, and I went there once, and they were disgusting. Five Guys hot dogs are 10 times better.
what is Pink's hot dogs?
It was supposed to be like this famous hot dog place in LA, and when we got there, the line is super long. We waited 20 minutes to get a hot dog. And yeah, Portillo's knocks it out of the water. Yeah, Portillo's are excellent. Fucking Chicago is the best food. Chicago's my favorite city.
If I was in your spot, business travel the same way you do, right? Don't naturally go out and like catch foul balls at some game. I'd catch a movie at that Walk of Stars movie theater. Maybe the new
Chinese theater.
Is that what it is? And there's a new
Honestly,
the Civil War thing, right? That's Captain America: Civil War would be great. It's you probably want to see that. And if you haven't caught a movie there, it's a little better than the other experience. Like the Hooray for Hollywood plays on like a brass band or something, and you're almost like, yeah, I forgot how fucking cool Hollywood really is. There's like a history happening here, and I would like it. I bet you would too.
I might go to it's the Videorama or something like that. It's that one that Quentin Tarantino was in that whole debacle with Disney over and the showing of Hateful Eight. That's just like down the road. I'm really close to that. They had one of those 70 millimeter projectors. I might watch it there because I have considered that. I'm thinking about maybe flying my girlfriend out here too, but I'm like, what are you gonna do? Stay in this scary fucking hellhole like while I'm gone for like 12 hours?
Do you really want to? Don't you want a little bit of alone time?
Nah, I don't like that at all. I'd rather have it right here.
PKA Dan had a formula. He said that like the amount of time you like being away is like the days equals number of kids times 2. So like back when he had 1 or 2 kids, he wanted 2 or 4 days before. He was like, yeah, I really like to get back with the family. I miss that situation. By the time he had 4 girls, he's like 8 days away before I start missing them. Wanting to come back.
And I don't
feel like I would feel guilty
for a while. Guilty for what?
Oh, like if I was a parent, like, and I went away for like business for like a week, and it got to be like the last day, and I hadn't seen my kids in like a full week, and I was thinking like, God, this has been great. Like, I would feel so guilty if I was thinking like, oh, I don't want to see those fuckers again. Like, God, what a taste of freedom again. That's like a scary feeling, you know? You're not supposed to think that, but I guarantee there are tons of married people out there who feel trapped like that every day, you know? And nobody talks about it, so it seems like it could happen to anyone. Everybody's just walking around with fake smiles of, I can't wait to go to Lowe's later. My God, then we'll hit up the Whole Foods. They got a new shipment of kale in. But really, you're just dying inside slowly, and you hate yourself, and you hate that little kid.
You're
like,
breaking
I don't see any of myself in you. Like, just things like that.
Jesus.
I don't know.
That's funny. I could talk about that. So I don't feel that way about my family. I'm quite happy to have them, honest. I will say that when I worked at Cisco and stuff and traveled, sometimes the first day or two, either I went or they went, it was kind of nice to just like, I don't know. Like, for example, Jackie doesn't like to see me lay on the couch. I don't know what the heck that's all about. I could be busy all day. I could have worked till 4 a.m. last night, and then I get up at 8 a.m. I'm sitting.
That's a power move, my friend, and you're falling for it. You can't let her dictate. That's the same thing your mom did when you were little, where she would yell, boys, and you would have to like run to her and be like, what? I stopped doing that when I was like 12, where I'd just be like, what? And make her come to me because it's a power play, and you got to learn to play the game if you're gonna win.
I think it's a Chris Rock routine. He's like, nothing make a woman upset like a man sitting on the couch, or however he says it. And when I heard it, it was like, damn, that's true.
And so you said, damn, that's true. I bet you did.
So Anyway, yeah, as busy as I keep myself, that's a thing. So, like when she's out of town, and the first day or two on the couch, where it's like, yeah, I could sleep here on the couch if I wanted to, and that would be great. But after a while, that gets overridden by like wishing they were back. The empty, no sense of purpose, etc.
It takes me a really, really long time to get homesick and to want to be back home and to want to be back. It really does, especially if like where I am is good. Like when Chiz and all of us went to Colorado, I wasn't ready to go fucking home. I could have stayed out there for a year. I'm not exaggerating. A year before I was like, I really want to see Dad. I got to go back. That's what it would be. I could be out there a year and I really wouldn't care. It wouldn't bother me a bit, like not seeing any of the people I see, like the guy at the gas station. Like, who am I missing out on? I don't give a shit.
Sounds like your home isn't cool enough for you, or you're not enjoying where you live enough. Then, because it's like four days for me before I'm like, I need to get back. I need to go home.
What you're missing is we went to a fucking badass like cabin out in the middle of nowhere in Colorado and like had a ball. So like it was a great time anyway. We had an amazing time in Colorado. It was a lot of fun. We had a buddy out there with a 4-wheel drive SUV, so he'd tow us behind it on like big inflatable like lake toy. So that was a lot of fun, like flying through the snow. Inner tube, yeah. Chiz nearly died. That was fun. Food was great. Had an awesome time there, and it was beautiful. I'd never been to Colorado before.
Your home's got to be better. Like I drive around in a golf cart every day, and I guess that's not quite inner tube dragging, but I love every freaking time I hop on that golf cart. I love it. We've got a go-kart. My buddy's bringing over a go-kart tomorrow. It's a street go-kart, and apparently it goes like Mach 1. We're going to give that a whirl.
Is tomorrow the play date?
No, it's another play date. We scheduled one before.
Jackie's letting you have 2 play dates.
She is. I'm a very lucky man.
Is she going to let you guys sit on the couch?
Probably not.
Kyle, be real.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I was sending him pictures. So I became friends with my contractor, and there's water on the stable floor. Like it's coming in from somewhere. And I was like, look at this. We got this problem. We got to sort it out next time you're over, etc. And he's like, my last appointment's at 11:30. I got the afternoon off. Off to him means like no quoting meeting with customers. He still has crews and stuff doing shit. Anyway, he's like, I could come over. We could go to lunch. I bring the go-kart on the trailer. Well, we'll do the and I'm like giddy about like, yeah, I got a fucking play date tomorrow. But it's a grown-up play date with like 50 horsepower. Like it's gonna be great. People listening to this. Just, you're probably laughing at me right now, but hypothetically, imagine you were invited. Like, hey, we're going to hang out on the compound. We got 2 go-karts, 1 street, 1 dirt. We got, plenty of fuel. We're going to go do our thing. We're going to go out to lunch.
Where are you going to drive?
You wish you were there.
Where are you going to drive the street go-kart, though? Because it needs asphalt, right?
So around my compound, there's a whole bunch of it. Like
Oh, yeah,
I get
true.
my go-kart up to 40 on that, and there's no like real street traffic or anything. It's like,
well, don't you go across the street on
you
that
guys
thing?
gonna do some
Why
sick
would you hurt
jumps?
yourself?
you can do jumps on the dirt one, the one that I have, like in front of the stable in particular. There's like a ramp. You get air. It's cool.
God, I can't stop picturing like this whole thing as a skit of you and your adult man friend like romping around, like you're running up the stairs and he grabs you by the shirt and he pulls you down. You guys are both racing up the stairs to get the dessert that Jackie made for you. You're asking if he can spend the night and she has to call his wife to check. And then you know what it is. Ted can stay, and you guys go, yes. Yes! Can we go to Red Box? Can we go to Red Box and get the new?
Did we just become best friends?
Shit like that. You're sneaking up at like 11:15 at night, really quiet to get snacks. All the time. I just picturing this makes me so happy. Just the silliness of it,
dude.
Like
yeah.
Real grown-ass
and Tucker doesn't know. We've got another date. I have to like regrade my my backyard because we're putting in a pool, and because it doesn't just absorb rain anymore, there'll be like concrete. It would drain towards the house. Anyway, we're renting a bulldozer, so we'll have like a bulldozer and a tractor, and we're gonna like redo my backyard, like the grading of it. This is like fucking diesel fun, man. Like
oh, that's gonna be
I feel
great.
like you guys, you get so into stuff like that, you would want to make like pillow forts, and you would go out to like Bed Bath & Beyond with him and just clean them out of everything. Just build the biggest pillow fort, because that's how you are with these things. Like, you wouldn't be happy with a couple of cushions and then a sheet. Like, no, you'd go and you'd buy all the fucking bedding you needed. That must be funny. Chiz wrote that. Let's build a pillow fort in the guest house.
Hashtag diesel fun. Yeah, so my friend's coming over tomorrow. I guess I'll try and get some vlog footage of it or something, and you'll see us. I have never seen his street go-kart yet, so that'll be cool. We'll hang out and we'll do that.
I had one of those when I was a kid. They can be dangerous. They are very fast.
Yeah, a couple of
These
friends
are
of
my
mine broke
favorite things.
Arm and leg on.
Wait, what?
They're real
I think I've
twitchy.
mentioned that before. A couple of friends of mine broke their arms and legs on it. Sorry, I thought you said what to me and not to
I
them.
did. No, Hope. We have a dirt go-kart, and Colin hurt his arm, but it turned out he just needed it in a splint for a little bit. Hope hurt her passenger's arm, and that may or may not have been broken. That was like the first day we met her. We broke their daughter's arm.
That's how all those injuries go in those things. Is because there's so much centripetal force, whatever, when you're turning and you're gonna tip, that like your body, like when you watch crash test dummies, they don't just like slam down. There's like a couple seconds of like,
Yeah.
and then just like that. But
That was pretty
That
good,
shook me
Taylor.
up. If
You're
you
like,
know where I
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Colin rolled in such a way that he put his arm out to like post up, and Hope rolled in such a way that her passenger did. And at first it was like, oh, it's okay, it's not broken. And then we talked to him a week later, like the other doctor said broken. But it wasn't. It just in seconds. It did need to be reset. So I guess the difference between broken and not is pretty subtle.
I've been in ATVs like crawling up like really, really steep hillsides and stuff where the goal was to flip. It was like, let's do it until we flip upside down because that thing has a roll cage and like netting all way around. And I'm holding my harness. I've got a harness that's coming down like this, and I'm just holding it, and I'm ready. I know I'm not gonna stick my arms outside this motherfucker though. The only thing I'm worried about is any stick like kind of penetrating in. But that seems like such a rare thing, and I had a helmet on, so it was just like, here we go. And it was fun. You want to roll it. It's like, let's turn this thing sideways on this hillside and fucking. That's what this thing's built for.
Yeah,
my
buggy was a similar thing. Like it wasn't like that all the time, but like when we're headed to an obstacle, I'd explain to my passenger, like, all right, let's tighten out the 5-point harness. You're gonna grab it like this with your arms in an X, and if things get tippy, don't post up. And we flipped it a bunch of times.
Enjoy the ride. You got no control at this point.
Yeah, and so ours was,
What do we do? Hang on.
Yeah, I was trying to make it. I didn't really want to roll it because it's heavy enough that there's damage, and something about it weighed about. I think it weighed about 3,000 pounds, maybe less. And but a 3,000-pound vehicle like crashing on the roll cage of it it's a solid hit.
Yeah, those things are certainly dangerous. Be careful tomorrow. Don't try and impress your friend too much. No playing chicken by the road.
See if you can vertical jump over it when he drives towards you. Just like clear it.
Yeah. Jump over him.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Oh, get him coming at
Yes.
you with. Dude, this is for your high-speed camera. You stand there, and he comes at you with the street go-kart, and at the last second, you and like jump, and he like this is you, and this is him, and you jump as he like passes under.
Yeah, that was
you.
what I was saying.
I feel like that's what he was. I feel like I'd have a better chance doing that in some Waterworld universe with the boat than I would on the street. Do I look like I'm built for jumping?
Look at those calves. You look like you could jump over a house.
Gravity and I are friends.
What you need to do is just have like
it's
some
right.
forced perspective. So you're standing there, and it looks like the car is coming right for you, but really it's like that. There's the Tucker. You must like that.
Yeah, I like that pivot.
Yeah, like that. So there he is. There's the car coming at him. You, as soon as it's about to cross, that's it. You cut the video there. You replace it with a straw dummy dressed in your clothes. And then you get the exact same footage again and cut it back to right where it's about to hit you. And it just boom, 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 boom. Just pummels over the fucking dummy with all the straw in it. Oh, that would be a hoot. That would be a great video for you. It's free of charge.
Free of charge.
Thank you.
It's easy too. Just stuff. You must have a ton of straw laying around too. You seem to keep a lot of agricultural goods just in case. A lot of wood, a lot of seed.
We just threw away our straw like 2 weeks ago.
The straw's gone bad.
The regret.
Yeah, it was in the stable. We paved the whole thing. It's in there.
Oh yeah, he's being serious. They really had to get rid of their straw
They
supply.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a real issue they faced in the morning when they got
That's
up.
an
They
issue
were
we
like,
faced.
We
"Shit."
have very stringent straw standards here in our home, and we're not going to let it get a little wet and put it back in our pristine barn on our rubber mats. Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
I think it's time for another ad read. There are two types of men out there, guys who love shopping for clothes but are short on time, and those who hate it. Either way, take heart. Now you can get clothes that fit perfectly and look amazing without ever stepping inside a store again, thanks to Trunk Club. They make it easy to look your best in clothes that fit you perfectly, handpicked by your own personal stylist with Trunk Club. Go to trunkclub.com/PKA, type in your measurements, share your likes and dislikes, and you get your very own personal stylist. I've had my stylist emailing me for a while, and I've been ignoring her, but they are very persistent. So don't worry, you cannot forget about this once you sign up. They're going to get you. They'll pick your clothes from over 80 top brands and ship them right to your door. You keep what you like, and then you send back what you don't. Trunk Club is not just another way to shop online. Your stylist takes the time to understand your unique look, and if you live in Dallas, New York, LA, Chicago, or DC, and you can stop by one of the Trunk Club clubhouses to work with your stylist in person for free. Let me start over there. I feel like I didn't understand what I was reading at first. Trunk Club is not just another way to shop online. Your stylist takes the time to understand your unique look. And if you live in Dallas, New York, LA, Chicago, or DC, you can stop by one of their clubhouses to work with your stylist in person for free. That's really cool. You can actually go in and work with somebody. Trunk Club is not a subscription service. You get your own personal stylist. Shipping is always free, and you have 10 days to try on the clothes risk-free. Make a statement at the next big event on your calendar with a look that's hand-picked just for you and your style. Get started at Trunk Club today. Premium clothes, expert advice, no work, thanks to your very own personal stylist at Trunk Club. Get started today at trunkclub.com/PKA. That's trunkclub.com/PKA.
When I talked to my stylist, he invited me to a play date at that fun house or whatever they have in Chicago. He said,
Ooh.
"Hey, I'm going to pick out your clothes. Do you want to come pal around for a while?" In different words. He was much more professional than that. And I said, "Where is it?" And he said, "Chicago." And I said, "Oh, that's like a long time to drive to hang out, but like maybe another time." He knows I didn't mean it. We both did. But he invited, and that's what matters. And so friendly folks there.
I did it too. Let me talk about my experience. So I guess going into it, I didn't want to talk about clothes and stuff. Like, I don't know, like somehow it was like, these are the clothes I want, but I don't every day talk about my sense of style and such. And she's like, well, what do you wear every day? And I'm like, that's not the hole I'm trying to fill. Every day I wear like crappy stained shorts because I'm going to do something that will stain them further, and a ratty old t-shirt.
Of gaming tees.
Yeah, right? Like every day I wear shirts.
Well, on Tuesdays, I wear my Tech Tuesday shirt.
I've got one that says "Bitches be crazy." That's the weekend one. Or
Wear
if I'm
that one on Saturday.
Jackie's not around.
On a daily basis, I wear the worst clothes I have because every day I'm like working in the shop or something. But I was like, that's not the hole in my wardrobe I'm trying to fill. I'm trying to fill that occasional, like, go to the friend's barbecue kind of like casual look your best, slide that there. So
First day of school look.
What's that? Oh, first day of school look.
First day of school look.
That's kind of what I was going for, and I wish I had used that term. And
Always went better.
they ask about your height, your weight, and your fit concerns, and we talk about all that, and she sent me a trunk full of stuff, and she was born to be a stylist. Like, she was just set me at ease, and suddenly had me talking about clothes and clothing goals, which is something that I don't normally talk about. And she sent me a trunk of stuff, and we picked out the stuff we kept and sent the rest back.
Yeah,
So-
I figured for
get
you,
on
you
that
just would have got
too.
like 6 pairs of leather sandals, and that was it. 'Cause that's all. Just tons of dad sandals.
These are my weekend mandals. These are my daily mandals. And
So unfair. I
I
haven't
just
worn
picture you being
Mandals
so
in like
difficult
5
with them, where
years.
they're like, so you want a collared shirt? I want 1 T-shirt, a pair of jorts, and 6 pairs of mandals. Sir, we don't have 6 different kinds of mandals. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to the trunk club. Like, just getting irate at them for not having all the mandals that you think a professional stylist should carry.
I don't wear Mandals. I do wear flip-flops sometimes, or whatever you call them.
there's a difference. Flip flops are different than mandals.
But what do you
Mandals-
call
what you
like
wear
a
are
high-end flip-flop? That's like,
Do they have gladiator straps on them, or are they just like the thong?
Just the
Flip-flop.
thong thing, but
That's a
they're like a
flip-flop,
little
don't care what
leather,
it's made of.
and they cost like $60.
Don't
Like,
care what it's made of.
It's not
Okay.
just those. There are some gladiator straps on some
That's
of your
not
sandals.
fair. You were talking
Well,
about sandals
no,
from 2010.
that's what I'm saying. Those are Mandals, but flip-flops, if it's just the fucking thong thing, that's it.
I will
I
get
don't care
them.
if it's made out of gold. It's a flip-flop.
They're only
Yeah.
1 minute away in this house. They're nearby. And do you want to?
Do you want to do that to yourself?
Mandals just don't make any goddamn sense.
Right, like what?
They don't
what
look
shoe
good.
void do they fill?
Hey,
Like-
you know those like shitty wooden shoes that they used to wear in Holland? They
Clogs,
retired
yeah.
those because they were just shit. You know, like you don't need to keep up with old shoe styles that are shit now.
I
just
like
like-
sandals. I like flip flops. Here's the
Mandals.
hole that they fill. They feel I can like if I'm gonna be just like walking outside and like going to my car or like doing something really quick, and I'm gonna be like I'm inside working most of the time. I'm on my computer or doing something in home, but then I need to quickly put on some footwear to walk into the yard in case I step in dog shit or something.
Those
then a
are
Flip-flops are
flip-flops.
perfect for that.
A
But those are
If I'm feeling
flip-flops.
if I'm feeling lazy, then I'll wear like a polo, jeans, and flip flops.
Sure.
And I'll go to the gas station or, you know, like somewhere like that. I'll go out like that. I won't go to the movies or dinner or something maybe, but like I'll rock
you're
the
not
sandals.
flip-flops.
I like them.
This
Flip-flops.
is what I
Mandals.
actually wear.
Those
I
are
wouldn't.
flip-flops, Woody.
Yeah.
Woody.
Yeah.
But Mandals don't fill a void that needs fill. Like there's not. All right, so
No one
flip-flops.
has needed to wear mandals since they completed the pyramids. Like that's what they handed out to all the Jews that were building that shit. And then afterward, they're
Jews
like,
did
"Can you
not
believe
build
these
the
guys fucking
pyramids."
built that whole thing in these awful
Yeah, it's factually
gladiator
incorrect,
strap
but-
shoes." And
Yeah, that was not the Jews.
I'm just saying,
I,
like,
I
if you're
know
gonna,
it wasn't, but it's more topical.
if you're gonna, like,
Oh.
if you're gonna,
Oh!
Can we let
Go
Tucker
ahead,
finish? his
no,
thought?
go for it. I want to know what just made that happen. Like,
Yeah, I want Taylor to tell us the story of Job.
Oh, Taylor, that was lost. It's lost footage, really. So, and it was ruined anyway by my internet connection. So,
Okay. You have to like bring up like a moral quandary, Kyle, that would be answered by Job. I can't. This is like think of
None of
these
them.
stories like Magic School Bus. Mrs. Frizz never went out there and was like, "We're gonna learn about the fucking digestive system." It was always because that little fucker with the red hair was like, "I got an upset tummy," so they had to
Yeah.
shrink up and go inside. I need a direction, you know.
like,
Say something.
I guess maybe it would be a good one to tell someone where you need to keep believing and stick in there because it's the right thing to do sometimes. Not maybe like
Never
maybe if you're
give
describing
up.
work ethic. If you're talking about work ethic, maybe like it's not about this, it's not about that. It's about it being the right thing to do, and you just do it because it's there to be done and it needs doing. I
Okay.
don't know because the story of Job is awful. It's so
Yeah.
awful.
I was trying to think of just any, like that's how bad this story is in the Bible. Like you take any other parable, and you can be like, oh, the fish and the fucking bread that he fed everybody with. That shows that he gave everybody a bunch of food. It's a good moral. If you got food, give it to people. Help them out. You can even pull something out of that. With Job, you have to sit there and think like maybe he was no, because he gets no. Oh goddamn. So basically, Job. The story of Job is if you read through the Bible and you've made it to Job and you're still somehow a Christian, like Job's gonna fucking do you in. Like you're not gonna. So basically, Job starts out very Game of Thronesy, where everything's being built up. Like, wow, what could go wrong here? Ned's got a handle on this whole thing. So Job was the best guy in the whole world, and God knew this. And everybody on Job's block knew that God thought that Job was the best. So there's a little bit of resentment right there, right away. Everybody knows that Job's God's favorite.
But he
and so
earned
the
it.
devil, who apparently can just quaffly drift into wherever Jesus currently is, Jesus/God, one and the same. That's in later chapters. I didn't mean to spoil it. But
Don't forget the Holy Ghost.
so
yeah, there's another one in there.
the Trinity.
One and a half. Well, half of one.
So Job basically
Good blade.
living his life, doing the best he can. Satan goes up to God and says, "Hey, that Job guy, he really loves you, but he's got like 12 kids. He's got a dope house. He's got more crops than he needs. He's got a bunch of animals. He only likes you because you gave him all that shit." And God was like, "That's not true. That's horse shit." And I know that's not true because I'm God, like I know this. But anyway, God goes, okay, I'll indulge you, Satan. You know, God often makes a game of indulging Satan at the expense of those he loves most. It's just something about God. And Satan goes, okay. And so Satan goes and he starts making Job's life as fucking terrible as possible. Starts out, what did he do first? I think boils might have been the first one. So basically,
the crops die.
Yes,
all of his
the
animals
business-
die, and you gotta. It's not like his like 3 pigs died. Like herds and herds of multiple kinds of, thousands of goats and hundreds of cattle.
Think of this like a factory farm. He was like a big time dude. He wasn't like, oh no, Tracy and Susan, my goats. Like it was like they didn't have names. They were thousands of goats. All of his livestock just dies, which is basically like all the money you have gone, and a bunch of predators or whoever else is just eating rotting meat. He still is like, you know what, God, that sucked, but I'm on your team. You're going to get me through this. And so the devil goes back to God and he's like, can I try something else? I didn't go the angle I should have. And God's like, fine, you fuck. Like, just get this done. We don't have that many pages in this book to spend on this one dude. And so he goes back, gives Job's entire family boils, pustules all over their body, erupting willy-nilly, just nastiness. They can't sit and eat dinner together. It's disgusting. No one trusts any kind of food that's creamy or indistinct textures.
It ruined couscous for me, Susan.
Yeah,
God has done this to us.
Yeah. No more quinoa in Job's house after the boils hit. They all sit there, and Job's family isn't quite as hot on this as him. They're like, God, this fucking sucks. And Job is still like, guys, we're sitting in a dope house. All the animals are dead, but we got food right now. God's on our side. So what if we're itchy for a few days? Satan goes back to God again, says, this fucker, actually, he's pretty tough. I got to hand it to you. And God's like, I know. I literally saw this coming. And Satan's like, all right, one more shot. And so he goes to Job's house. Job's out and about, taking care of things, taking care of business, needs to try and rebuild his empire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
He's probably doing the Lord's work out there. He's proselytizing or whatever you call it. He's out there finding new followers. To
woke up tender to the bone, and he's like, I just have to spread the love of the Lord. And so he's out there doing his thing. The rest of Joe's family is sleeping in. Like, this is fucking bullshit. God comes down, watches as Satan collapses the whole house on all of Job's children and his wives. I don't know. At least one. At least one wife, half a dozen to a dozen kids in there. Every one of them crushed to death. Crushed to death in Job's home amidst ashes and their boils. Just, you can still see, they can't even have an open casket funeral. And there's no land to bury them in because it's covered in shit and dead animals. And it's just horrific. And Job comes back, and it's almost like he sees it on the horizon. And he's like, oh, no. And he sprints over there, and he's, oh, no, Jesus, oh, God. And he tears his clothes, probably tearing a few of those, like, pustules off as well because he's so overtaken by grief. And he's just sitting in the burnt-out remains of his home, and he's just, rubbing soil and ash onto himself. And as this is happening, it pans up to heaven, and it shows God and Satan sitting there. And God goes, I told you he wouldn't betray me. And
the devil goes, and the devil looks to God and says, well, you won again. Here you are. $1.
Brewster's Millions.
That's it. There's no redemption. There's no redemption at the end.
That's
at the
end of the book.
Day, God doesn't even step in and tell Job what happened. He didn't even step in and be like, hey, Job, it's been a lot of nonsense. Just to let you know, you were a pawn in my game, and we won, hooray. But really sorry about that. He doesn't even step in. He doesn't even call back and let him know what happened. He just lets him live the rest of his shitty life in squalor. So he did win the bet. And if you can find some kind of moral in there, other than like don't trust deities, then I don't know.
Don't trust God, because he'll sell you out for a little street cred to the Lord of Darkness himself.
His whole family went to a better place.
I am a better friend to you than that.
That's horrible. If I were to tell the people at fucking a Tex-Mex restaurant that it was your birthday so we could get free dessert, I would feel bad about that. Much less sabotaging your whole life to win a bet where nothing was wagered. Like, if you own everything in existence and you can summon things just by will, what could you possibly bet? Like, how could it be fun to bet if you already know the end game? I don't know, but it's an interesting story, and I probably got some of it right.
Right.
That sounds all like factually exactly like the way I remember it from Sunday school. Like that's absolutely right. I remember the preacher talking about him. He specifically talked about being in the soot and the ashes and how he's rubbing that all over his body and the wailing, praying the whole time. Just, forgive me for whatever I've done to deserve this, Lord. You know, that's his whole thing. You know, the whole time that he's suffering. Terrible, terrible story. I can't find the moral there. I don't get it. It makes me feel real bad.
Perhaps my parents will call me and tell me why it's good.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'd love to hear from them exactly what the story of Job has taught them in life. It's probably like, don't fuck with God. Yeah, your dad's like, don't gamble. Clearly, don't gamble. Ever. Not once. I don't know what.
I don't know. I'm not getting the moral in this one.
There's something in there.
There's something.
There's something.
If it is it's not really a moral lesson as much as it is like a warning of what is to come if you defy. No, he didn't even defy God. He did everything right.
No, I feel like the lesson is don't be unlucky.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't be some overachiever who like
don't stand out.
Don't stand out.
Don't succeed.
86%
you know, God might let you down in the pinch, but you know who won't? That's 1-800-Flowers. Remember as a kid, you never get one past your mom. She always knew something was up. You could never sneak in after curfew. Dishes that disappeared were always under your bed. And that time you waited until the last minute to make her Mother's Day card, and it looked like a first grader made it. Problem was you were in college. She knew. Don't blow it another year. Get with 1-800-Flowers.com and their special offer to Painkiller already viewers, which is 2 dozen multicolored roses for $29.99. You got to hurry, though. Quantities are limited, and I've already gotten one for my mother. That's a blatant lie, but it's written right here, so I have to read it. 1-800-Flowers works with premier farms around the world to ensure moms get the best roses around. This offer is just for you guys checking us out and being loyal supporters of the show, so don't miss out. Every bouquet is packed by 1-800-Flowers. With 1-800-Flowers, 100% smile guarantee. If you or your mom have any issues, they will make it right no matter what. No questions asked. The team at 1-800-Flowers is passionate about helping you show your mom how much she means to you. So don't be the last guy or girl to get stuck with picked over junk for your mom. Trust us, moms will know the difference. So create a moment with your mom that's guaranteed to make her smile, and you might get one over on her this year for once. Probably not, though. Give her 2 dozen multicolored roses for only $29.99. Hurry, quantities are limited. Get your moms right now at 1-800-Flowers.com/PKA. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to say it, but then you said .com. I'm like, oh, that's where you go. Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if any of you like held up flowers during that thing, but I'm in LA, so I don't have any of my flowers. But they are very nice every time they've come. They're very lush. They're coming from like local greenhouses in your area in many cases. So like, you know, you're getting these things, and they seem like they just got chopped or cut or like
incredibly high quality
flowers.
Yeah, they're the best flowers I've ever received, and I haven't received many, but I have bought enough. And of the ones I've even bought from the florist, it's not as nice. Like, these look like they got cut 5 minutes before they got here. And even the ones that I got like a week ago that are dying because they're flowers and it was a week, Melissa hung them upside down and is drying them out because I guess that's something you do. I don't know if you grind it up and make some sort of elixir or if it's just supposed to look good.
Yeah, I asked my girlfriend about this. I was like, what can we do with these flowers? Because they look so nice and we have so many. We got 6 dozen. And she was like, well, you can, you can hang them upside down and dry them out or whatever, but you can also, but that seemed dumb to me because then you just look at them. I wanted to make potpourri. Oh, you misspelled potpourri. Yeah, let's keep going.
Potpourri.
Yeah. That's when, like, the Pope gets a little frisky. He's getting a little potpourri.
It's shorthand for touching children.
Potpourri. That's when a cat gets high. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's not how you spell it either.
No. Keep going.
0 for 2.
But yeah, I'm digging the flowers. It's nice to have that many flowers around. They smell nice in my house, and they look nice too.
Yeah, they look very nice. What was the smile guarantee they have? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they have a 100% smile guarantee, I believe.
A smile guarantee. Back. Did you smile?
Yeah. Did I smile? No, but I didn't pay for mine, so it doesn't matter.
Not the direction I thought you'd go with that softball.
I call him like I see him. I'm being honest here. I have a hard time making me smile. You really
we should
gotta
make our own
come
guarantees
up with a
for
knee
the
slapper.
podcast. Just things that like you can't really quantify, but it helps. Like the
Guaranteed
keep
not
on
to
breathing
cause-
prompts or the keep your head up, statements or guarantee. I don't know. Just things you can't quantify, but it sounds good. That's what we need. Anyway,
Yeah. Like, these flowers are
sucked all the air out of the room.
guaranteed to make you look at them.
Yeah,
It'll
Yeah,
happen.
Guaranteed.
I actually scientifically plotted the points at which people looked at me, and it just doesn't add up, guys. I'm sorry.
No,
No.
sorry. Are you still working on potpourri over there? Chiz is trying to spell potpourri.
I just see Dr. Chiz is typing. Dr. Chiz is typing.
It's exactly like he's sitting at home just mad, drinking scotch quickly, running his hair through wiry hair, quickly losing because of stress, because he can't figure out where the tea goes on potpourri. Oh, Jesus Christ, Chiz. Hashtag suck it. How about you hop in, Chiz?
Okay, I got a question. It's from Ask Reddit. What is legitimately better than sex?
If you're in the right mood, like something like chicken wings, definitely.
I was gonna, if it's cold enough, clothes fresh from the dryer. I'm trying to think of some of the greatest things.
What?
See, that's
Clothes fresh from slightly warm clothes?
doesn't even reach my top
You know
10.
what's better than an orgasm? A warm cardigan.
Screw you all. Just trying to think of
Nice.
delightful
So
things.
cool on a winter's day. That's better than blowing a
All
load
right,
on some.
I might not be
The
very good
crinkle
at
of the
sex.
first fall leaf.
I would 100% trade like sex for a not just a good steak, but like a really good steak, like that once every 4 to 5 month steak that you go out and get. That you're just like you set aside the whole night for that steak. You don't taint your stomach with any other food. Like that's absolutely better than sex.
Yeah, it can be.
I don't. That one was in my head. I
Food
actually,
is contingent on your current mood.
Ted Cruz.
exactly. That's the thing. It's contingent on your current mood. That's exactly it.
What else?
I don't know. If,
Sports are often better.
Some of the cooler things that
oh,
I've done-
what the shit? His site did get jacked. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Ted
Ted
Cruz's
Cruz's
site.
site. Yeah, it redirects to Hillary Clinton's fucking.
says next president of the United States.
That's outstanding.
Like flying underneath a helicopter is better than sex. Like being dangled underneath a helicopter and swinging around with a machine gun.
That one,
was
like,
fun.
full of anxiety or full of like. Have you gone skydiving?
Mm-mm.
I've just
I know,
been dangled a few times.
Close enough. Like, I'm sure that like anything that gives you that absurd rush, I'm sure is better.
Yeah,
than
it was so
sex.
much fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And anything with a helicopter, I've hunted from the helicopter. That was a ton of fun. I think that's better. I think shooting those pigs from the helicopter is better than sex. That sounds so. God, I would. I feel dirty already saying that. It sounds so awful.
I don't
Yeah,
really
man.
like.
One time we got in a Robinson 22, flying about 45, takes off the ground. Took out a few big old boars with our machine guns. Better than sex. Like I don't want that. I don't want that to be me, but it really was a ton of fun. Yeah.
I've been in a helicopter a couple times. I don't really like it that much. The first time I
Yeah.
did, but I'm done
They're
with it
cool.
now.
It's a cool little novel thing.
I like it a lot. I've been in a few times. I've filmed from them, and I've been in them. I've shot at them a few times, and I've been on like some helicopter tours. I really like it because I usually start bullshitting with my pilot and see what he's made out of, and sometimes it's just a guy that I'm like, just take it easy, man. Do your best, all right? We're all counting on you. And then sometimes the guy, I'm like, how many hours you got? Hours. I've been flying since Nam. And he's just like, and he's like in and out, and like just seems like he's a master at this thing. Like he can fly it sideways. He's flying, and he's using every axis, if that makes
Right.
sense. Like he's not moving in straight lines. We talked about video games and how newbies move forward and then turn their head. Well, it's a helicopter. There's a few more axes to deal with. We're going up and down and left and right and side to side, and he is doing all those things simultaneously to do exactly what we need to do our thing. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, I feel completely safe with that guy. But my cousin was cameramanning out of a Robinson 22 one time, and that guy, when we asked him how many hours, he kind of scoffed and was like, man, I got several hundred hours. Don't be worried about me. And he like ended up in the wash of the Robinson 44, I think it was, and nearly crashed his fucking helicopter. Like, so those things. It's
I've
the most
had that
dangerous helicopter.
Vietnam experience too. Yeah, literally, the guy was special forces in Vietnam, and we were flying a Vietnam Air Huey with a minigun, and we just did fucking like pass after pass after pass. They were shooting a minigun, and there were, I guess, incendiary rounds. Are those the ones that light up? And like they didn't hit the tower the first couple times, so they just did like on purpose so that they could get the shot, and then they eventually did. And I'm there like filming it and being involved and stuff, and I don't know. It's just like after a while, you're like, dude, like we've done this 10 times. We've been up here for 50 minutes. Can we just hit it and land? I don't even feel well anymore.
I don't have that experience.
And there was a power line, and I guess he had it all taken care of, but there was a power line that we missed by whatever 20 feet 10 times. And it's like, dude, like if we do this 100 times, he'll hit it once. That's how I felt.
I don't think
Not
I've
my
ever been in
power
a
line.
helicopter.
Not my power.
It's that's always the way I feel about it. I ask, who owns what and what are the liabilities involved, and like sometimes
you're
we're shooting
in the
like
helicopter. What, like, do you think that goes well if the helicopter like gets hooked on a power line?
hooked. Oh, I thought you were talking about gunfire. Yeah, we weren't in.
No, we're
yeah,
like.
I thought you meant that like you're shooting and the bullets are hitting near the power line. I see. That's a terrifying situation. Helicopters are not good at handling mid-air collisions with anything. Even my rifle had a shell catcher on it. The shells go into a little pouch on the side, because we're worried that rounds could deflect up into the blades, and it would be a major issue. Could cause a crash, because a Robinson 22 is so small that you like fold the rotors and shit up and then haul it behind a pickup truck down the highway. Like this thing is tiny. When you get in it, like the seat is narrower than my ass is. Like you mostly you put like your left butt cheek on the seat and kind of put your leg out on the whatever that landing leg of the helicopter thing is, and kind of lean out, and like I don't know, it's a really, really, really tiny thing. I would compare it
How
to
many
like
people can be in there?
two people. It's me and the pilot. Yeah. There are bigger helicopters, and they do that hog hunting sometimes with the bigger helicopters where you can have like 4 or 5 people in there. So you've got like a door open and 2 guys shooting out the same door. But the way I did it is the fucking cool way, because like you got to set up just like this with a mic so that you can talk to your pilot over all the noise. It's because it's incredibly loud, and I'm shooting a gun most of the time. But I can be like, oh yeah, lower, stop, right there, rotate, faster, and he's just keeping up with me as well as can ever be expected. Just putting us right on this pig, and it was like fish in the barrel. But I hate those pigs; they're kind of like cockroaches in Texas, so it's a lot of fun. We should do that sometime. Like I want to find some way to get paid to do it, but I'd be happy just to pay to do it.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
Tucker, where do you live now? You said you moved recently?
Yeah, I moved up to Portland, Oregon.
Huh? You there by yourself?
No, I live with Sonia, my girlfriend.
Gotcha. How long have you guys been together now?
3 years now. So
Sounds
we're getting up there.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, moving in is usually that step, but so we'll see.
Did you guys live together before you moved? Before Oregon?
No. So she moved in about a month and a half before we moved up here. So it's only been about 8 months total. So it's not been too long, but there's not been any. I mean, I don't know why people make such a big deal out of it. It's really just not. It's just seeing each other more, I guess. I guess you can get on people's nerves and you find out more about the person, but it seemed pretty seamless to me. So
That's good.
So
good news.
what was I gonna say?
How do you like the city compared to where you were before?
Yeah, like what's the whole situation? Like you in the city, the country? You have a house, an apartment?
Yeah, so we're renting a house right now. We're like, without giving too much detail away so people can find it, we do live like we're not in downtown Portland. Like that's just not feasible. We're a little bit out, and it's nice. It's just the one thing that I miss, because we lived, in LA, we lived in Santa Monica, and the accessibility to everything, from just being able to call up somebody and within 20 minutes have them deliver me anything I want, from Thai food to Chipotle to, Whole Foods, with all these services available. It was awesome, but like we don't have reliable like Uber pickup here. It's only like downtown that you can get a ride within 5 minutes. It takes like 7 or 8 minutes more here. I just miss the conveniences of a big city, but I'd trade all of that for like a house with AC and like in a nice area, you know. I like it out here a lot.
Yeah,
That's
there's
good.
a balance between city and like I'm on the edge of the city, so if I hypothetically wanted Uber, I have that, and I'm near like the state capitol and whatever facilities that might need, or pro hockey or something. But I'm also like, because I'm on the edge of it, I'm like 5 miles from the nearest hardware store, and like where I was previously, I was like 5 blocks from one, and like I kind of miss some of the stuff that comes along with elbow room, but
yeah. I mean, that's really it. It's just the convenience. Like, we're not that far out. I mean, the grocery store is legitimately within walking distance and stuff like that. But it's, you know, we don't have a yard, very much of a yard. So I kind of miss, because I grew up, you know, with like a good acre of land. So I kind of miss having that like personal space boundary between you and the house. We didn't have that in LA, of course, but we had a little more. But it's still enough that, you know, if I spit out my window, I'm spitting into the neighbor's yard here. So I'd like a little bit more space. Minor things, you know.
yeah, figure out what you want. It's good that you're, you know, renting and bouncing from place to place. If you do eventually put roots, it won't be, you know, just because it's like, you know, first thing we found, you know,
right?
It'll be what you're really
That's
looking
the
for.
goal. You know, I really didn't want to hang out in LA much longer. Just the cost of everything is just so exorbitant. And especially when we're not growing up in LA, you're not. I mean, I spent 4 years there, or 3 years, so I felt like I was used to it. But like, you know, go back home or you go anywhere else, no matter where, and you're just like, unless it's San Francisco, you're just like, holy shit, your food's cheaper here. Like I went to a movie and I paid $8 a ticket and I shit myself. I was like, this is affordable, and I would go to movies instead of the $22.50 matinee that it costs to go to a movie.
Is it really
in LA.
$22.50?
That's
If
not
you
even,
go to the-
why even go?
That's what I
say.
said. Why even go? And that's
Especially
not even like.
if you bring a person, you know, like
Yeah.
you bring a family, and all of a sudden you're in for nearly $100.
Well, that's what we used to joke. I was like, Sonya would be like, yo, let's go out to dinner or a movie. And I'm like, well, you know, that's like a $250 night out for like 4 hours of entertainment. Like, why don't we just order food in and I'll rent a movie on Redbox and we'll have fun here. Like, it's just, it's really de-incentivizing to go to anything there. It's just super expensive for supporting your local industry.
Yeah.
It's $22.50 a ticket for me, and then I think there's like another couple bucks service charge because I use Fandango to purchase my tickets.
Yeah, $250 or so.
Yeah, so it comes to like $50 for me and my girlfriend to go to the movies, and then, you know, dinner at least another $40, I'd say, especially by the time you get tip in there. So it's at least $100 to go out, you know. But you know, I guess I'm fine with that though, because I feel like that's what my date cost when I was 16 years old. I remember being 16 years old and like going on a date, and I had like $150 in my pocket, and I felt comfortable. I was like, no matter what happens, I can take care of it, and that because I feel like if you're going on a date and you've got $25, $50, $68, you know, it's like that Dave Chappelle scene from Half Baked, where he's got like $3 and he's going on a date and he's trying to find ways to make it work.
Right.
And there's like a running tally of how much money's in his pocket. And at one point, he robs like a blind man from his cup, and the thing goes back up again. But even as a 16-year-old, I felt like $150 in my pocket. It doesn't matter where this date goes. I got it. And I guess it's still true now, and I'm almost 30. But I don't mind it. It's $50, but it's IMAX, and I usually go to the 3D thing, and it's a whole experience anyway. It would be nice if it were cheaper. I remember watching Jurassic Park when I was a kid, and it was like $5.50 for adults and maybe $3.50 for us kids or something. But
Yeah.
that's over.
It's just ludicrous, man.
Would you pay more to be able to watch movies that are in? I think there's a service where I can't remember. Chiz maybe knows more about it, but you'll be able to watch box office movies at home for like a large fee.
Depends on the large fee. If it's the same price as going to a movie, I will never
is.
pay. Yeah, then I'd
$50. So, yeah, let's say the
That's
new James Bond
nonsense.
movie comes out. New James Bond comes out, just came out. Instead of going to that midnight release, if
No.
you're a big Bond fan, yeah,
Still
going
would.
down $50 like a pay-per-view. You everybody's like just watching on the like,
I part of the whole thing with me going to movie, what it takes to get me to get into a movie theater is that movie has to be something that I can't like. That movie has to be something that I can't get the same experience on my cell phone or like on my home theater system. Like I have to be able to feel shit, you know? So
Yeah, I feel you.
The movie thing, I don't know. You got to get your home theater game stepped up. I feel like I feel it there
I gotta.
better than the movies. That's where it's at. Good times.
Yeah. Well, I have to be hopping off early this week. I have a couple things I have to get done. Very busy day tomorrow. Up very
I believe
early,
you have a
so-
gynecologist appointment in the morning, right?
Well, it takes so long to get in. I can't afford to miss it. So
yeah.
Are you guys
anyway,
seeing...
I have to hop off.
Okay.
Tucker, it was a lot of fun catching
Thank
up.
you.
But
It was
I'll
all
talk to you guys
lovely.
later.
Definitely.
Nah. Are we seeing what?
For me, it looks like both of you are having bandwidth issues. Well, actually,
No,
Yeah,
I thought
I'm
you were
hearing-
having bandwidth issues.
is
I
it
don't know
just
who it is,
me,
but
or
I'm
can you
hear-
guys see each other fine?
No, I'm hearing it. So I see everyone, but everything degraded slightly, and
Yeah.
Tucker kind of started getting robot-y sounding. Maybe we should.
Oh,
have
you
wrapped
guys did
fairly
the same
soon.
thing too. Yeah.
What else do we want to talk about here? What we got cooking?
What's in that pot? What's stewing?
I need to fix the layout.
Oh, that's right, because this is all live recorded. I forgot.
Yeah, see, like
Yeah.
sometimes people are like, you should just have a 3-box and a 4-box or whatever. It's like, no, they all shift. And here's Chiz is a different size box than you two. I'd really need like 17 combinations to handle all the things. And Kyle's in the Tucker spot. It's just
Yeah,
chaos
Set
here.
up some more overlays,
So-
man.
I want to talk
Oh,
about
by the
some
way,
of the,
new
the
overlay
things
every
that I
week.
would like to do.
Go on.
So we've got the knives are out now. If anyone's listening to this, they're virtually out. I guess no. Some of you maniacs I know will be listening to this in just a
Night.
short few hours when I'm
Yeah.
speaking these words. So this doesn't apply to you crazies, but thank you so much for supporting what we do with Patreon. Link down below. But for the rest of you, Friday Eastern, the knives are coming out, so that thing is done. The hot sauce is being shipped to me soon. That will be on the store. So some other things that I've got in the works that I think would not that those things were entirely made. It's kind of a team effort. But some other things that I think we should do. I would like to do the in-person PKA. I'd like to do that meetup sometimes whenever I get out of this fucking slum hole here. And I'd like to oh no, I don't like that idea anymore.
what?
Let's see.
What is the idea you don't like anymore?
I'll type it.
Okay.
That thing. But I would like to do the in-person PKA, and I'd like to maybe. I lost my train of thought. There was a thing that I thought we could all do together. I'm trying to remember what it was.
The in-person
maybe
PKA, was it related to something at Wings' house? Was it a shooting thing? Was it a...
I don't remember. But so the in-person PKA I think would be fun, but it's a different kind of fun. It's what we do normally, but 1,000 times better in my opinion, because we're like there and we're all like in the same room, the same space. I think it would look better than any of these have looked before, and it would sound better, and it would come off better. I think it would be more fun.
Mhm.
But I'd like to do something where we all went somewhere and did a thing too. I think that would be fun. Like not necessarily paintball or I know we go back to this tons and tons of times. It doesn't have to necessarily be a thing that the fans come and do with us, or maybe they could, but we're not expecting it to be 100 or 200 fans like we do with paintball. We don't build up a whole thing. Maybe we just go somewhere and do a thing. I don't know.
I'd like to do that too. Just throw an experience on there. We'll all meet at Tucker's house. You'll find out where it is.
Yeah, and we'll just have everybody over. Everybody. Shut it down.
You'll see the place. We'll party in his backyard and partially his neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, it would be a lot of my neighbors back there.
I would like to maybe go to Canada and do a thing, or
Hockey, perhaps.
I would go to Cuba. I think that would be fun. I would go to some sort of playoff hockey game. Maybe if the Blues went to the finals, maybe we could go to one of those games. I'm sure nobody will be there.
That sounds right.
But
He
but
won't
yeah, I think
see
it'd be
this.
fun to do
Taylor's
that.
not going to watch this. We're safe.
I never watch these. Do you ever go back and watch these?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, like, what happens...
I know we'll go back and watch a segment.
That's what I was going to say. Like, a segment might get linked on PKA, or maybe I'm just, like, reviewing it or thinking it. Sometimes I'll say something insane, that seems normal on the show, but when it gets tweeted back to me, like, you know, whatever, and I'm like, I can't believe I said that last night. Like somehow I get partially drunk on this show when I'm not at all, and then I'll like it'll hook me. It'll be like I'm watching it, and I'll be like, you know, I can kind of see why people like this. You know, like this is flowing, and that's when I watch it again.
Yeah, I never do. I don't read any of the comments. I don't go on Reddit or any of that stuff. I'm zero feedback.
So you can leave comments right now, and Kyle won't see them.
I always read your comments. After every show, I always go back. I got to make sure I didn't fuck anything up. Make sure people don't hate me too much. it's just happened.
You're
but
one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow unsurprisingly, it seems to be the case. But like, I'll never touch my own comment section. Like my videos, I don't give a shit. Like I'm not
Really?
reading that ever.
I've
Yeah.
been active in my comments on mine. And then there's a couple things about that. One, I just feel like I give back a little. You know, if I'm doing a vlog channel, I feel like part of it's connecting with the people, and you reply to the comments. The other thing is when you reply to a comment, it becomes like a top comment, you know, because you replied to it, and I feel like I can set the tone. So if someone says something nice, I might say thank you, and then I have a nice comment at the top, which is cool. But
No, that makes sense.
the feedback on the vlog, like back in the day, that was more important than it is now, because now it seems like people are being very nice to me, which wasn't the case 4 years ago.
Things change. People change.
Yeah.
People grow up past the age of 14. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. I really want to do a live stream where we play a game or do a thing. It doesn't. Of some kind.
I was trying to pitch that the other night. So just to get this clear, 99% of the time, I am the weak link in live streaming. But I forget what it was. Maybe 2 days ago. It was recent. And I wanted to live stream, and it just seemed to fall
What was
flat.
I flying?
You could have been. I don't know. Yeah, Kyle is
You're
the
like,
opposite.
hey, I got a hankering for a big old live stream, and like I'm mid-flight to LA or something like that. I ask about 2 or 3 times a week. I usually send a text. It's like, looks like a good day for a live stream. It'll be like Saturday at like noon or something like that. Seems like a good time for a live stream. Nobody ever replies. Nobody says shit.
I kind of want my channel to be the vlogging and the podcast. Like that's it. I don't want to just like slip in random like
Can't we do like I don't want to. I was thinking like Twitch though.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I just wanted to throw this out there too. Like Chiz was like, oh, we got to upload gameplay of this. And there was some game where I guess I've seen it in GIF form. There's like a penis and balls, and you drive around and you try to get like in between the balls, which I guess is like the butt.
It's what is it, penetrator or penetrate? I know what you're talking about. You make a big dick train.
Yeah, and I'm guessing I don't really know. I've only seen like GIFs of it, but it seems like a musical chairs thing. Like maybe you don't want to be last, or I don't know. But how do you win? Like, what's the objective?
It's like a gar.io. It's like you're a dick, so you swim and you try and fuck the dick in the butt, and then you control whoever's dick that was, and you have 2 dicks, and then you try and dick the other dicks. You know what I mean?
And then when somebody gets you, now you lost control, I guess.
Yeah.
There's another game called Slithario, and you're a snake, and you make a turn. You know, you don't meet, you just like turn like that. You start turning, and you know it feeds.
Right.
Turns. So like you've got to plan your trajectories really carefully because you're always trying to eat other snakes and become them. And of course you can like do that thing in the other game where you like lose part of your mass to accelerate. You can do that thing there too.
So what I was trying to say is like if we were to do a PKA plays or something, like I could see uploading it as unlisted, maybe for the Patreons, maybe put it on the subreddit. I don't know, but I don't really want just like dick and balls video games on my channel. Like it's not what it is.
You've moved away from this. So.
Yeah. So, like I'm down to play it. You know, we could do whatever with it, but I'm like, you guys can't just like decide to update Dick and Balls genital jousting on there. I've changed it a bit, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Somehow that got in my head.
Interesting.
Yeah, the bitrate's getting bad. Yeah, we're having some connectivity issues or something. It's
yeah, that's
not good.
So for me, I'm seeing it for both of you, which Chiz is host. I'm guessing. I don't know.
It's got to be Chiz. He's the weak link. Blame him. But yeah, I see it for both of you guys, so it can't be mine. or it could be mine, but that doesn't make sense if you guys are all seeing the same shit. So.
Right. Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't know.
Hey, Chiz, hold on, talk for a second so we can see if it's you.
Dicks.
No,
That
was
sounded
you.
robot-y to me, right? I don't know. Maybe longer soundbite.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
No dice, guys. Close enough.
Oh,
Holy shit. Oh, you would link a fucking...
It ends with request timeout, so it's dropping some packets.
Of course, Woody would know.
Yeah.
All this net. Are you gonna ever go back to networking? Or you were gonna ride this train until? I mean, you're retiring in like 1 year, so.
Right. I don't know. Like sometimes I think, I should go back. I could, like I'd only take the right job, of course, and like it might be neat, like a sense of purpose or something to work for somebody and like I don't know, drive some division somewhere. And then like the other day, for example, forget what I did. Maybe I worked on something in the stable. I don't know what it was. And the sky was beautiful. And like I just sort of wrapped up and I was walking back to the house across the compound and I was just like, I'm not meant to be in an office. Like I love this. And that's like it's one of the things
Woody's going to be a farmer. It's coming. He just doesn't know it yet. He is going to end up being like a cattle farmer or like a sheep herd. It won't probably not cattle. It'll be some sort of like politically correct farming. Like I could imagine him shearing sheep or something like that. That's coming. It is. It just is.
I can see it happening.
But yeah, and I really like deciding what to do with my time mostly. Like I guess everybody here does that to some extent. You're busy, you've got things to do. Tucker, how much time do you spend streaming?
I stream 4 to 6 hours a day every day.
Huh. So you might not want to say it, but I bet there's moments where you're like, time to bake the donuts, right? And
like time to get on stream? Oh yeah, I mean that happens all the time. It's not because I don't like it. It's just because it's maybe I'm just not feeling like $1,000 today. I'm just like, well, time to boot up stream because I have a schedule. I try to follow it. So.
And then plus people they only want to see the best version of you, right? Like maybe 10 minutes before stream. What's that?
You.
Oh, I blame Chiz. Can you hear me now?
It's better. Yeah,
right.
a little better.
So what I was going to say is, they only want to see the best version of you, right? They don't want to see you like, fucking, I'm frustrated, I'm down, I'm sad today.
Right.
No, you got to, you're Tucker. You bring the energy, man. I'm here for your energy, and
True.
And so you got to do the thing.
Yeah. Well, it's what makes you happy. I mean, even if I'm in a bad mood and you hop on, it'll almost always considerably make my mood a lot better. But like, I always get that same idea as well. I'm like, shit. You know how nice? Like, I see one of my friends from back home is like taking the weekend to go to New York, and I'm like, I wish I could take the weekend and go to New York. Oh, I can do that, but I'm not going to because I don't have like 2 days off. Like that's not a thing. It's just kind of like I'm not working that day. It's not a day off. It's a difference. I would like to be it would be nice sometimes to have that. It's 5 p.m. I don't give a shit about anything that I just did for the last 8 hours until 9 a.m. tomorrow. But that's few and far between,
Yeah, when I worked for somebody else, sometimes I had days off, right? Days where I literally didn't do anything for that company. I think it was even typical. Every Saturday and Sunday I didn't work. And now every day I work. It's not always 8 hours or anything, but like there's never a day where I don't have to pop onto Woodycraft and answer some question or complaint or whatever. There's never a day where I don't have to, well, of course now I'm vlogging 5 days a week, so that's a lot. Last week I did I felt like I didn't have great content or at least enough content, so I did 2 days into one. So that's kind of like vlogging 6 days a week. It's this concept of days off, like I haven't had a real day off in 6 years, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But that's just the way things work.
Yeah.
You do something long enough, it doesn't matter how much you enjoy it. There's going to be a time where you're like, shit, this other place looks like it would be fun if I could just take this one aspect for a little bit and use it,
On the other hand, I bet none of us would really trade. Like, all right, yeah, how would you like to be a nurse? You know, now you're
No.
going to be a nurse. You're going to deal with like people's emergencies and worst days all the time. You're doing good for the world, and there's some satisfaction in that. But 12-hour shifts are normal. You know, I'd just be.
I mean, you can have. Yeah, I hate that argument because a lot of people like I'll complain if I complain about anything, like I'm bound to have somebody be like, well, why don't you shut the fuck up? I flip burgers, and it's like, well, you're right. Like if you look at it that way, I will never trade what I've got in my job and what I've been doing and all this stuff. I would never trade it for something else. But like that doesn't mean that I have to be 100% satisfied with every single aspect of everything about my life. Like, you know, there's things that I fundamentally would like to experience once in a while, like a day off where I legitimately don't have to or feel like I need to care about, you know, streaming or YouTube or anything outside of that as well. Just that would be nice. Doesn't mean that I would ever trade my job for a job that would give me that, but it you know, I'm allowed to complain without being unsatisfied, I guess, is my one qualm that I always get called out for.
Okay.
Is, you know.
Well, it seems like the net connection's not coming back.
Yeah, this is weird.
Well, I do need to tell everyone before we say goodnight. Thanks again to Loot Crate, the monthly subscription box for geeks, gamers, and pop culture nerds. The release of Captain America Civil War features a clash of epic proportions, and that makes May the perfect time to get the spotlight on characters and items of great power. So you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So go to .com/painkiller and offer code killer to save $3 on your subscription today. Limited time.
Can I read that too, just in case the audio didn't work out? Would you link that for me?
Yes, I will.
Sorry about that. I just
No worries. Can't hear nothing.
can't hear you. It's yeah. All right. So as Kyle was saying. Thanks again to Loot Crate. The monthly subscription box is for geeks, gamers, and pop culture nerds. The release of Captain America Civil War features a clash of epic proportions. That makes May the perfect time to put the spotlight on characters and great items of great power. You only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's Loot Crate, and when the cutoff happens, that's it. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/painkiller, enter code PAINKILLER to save $3 on your new subscription today. So... there it is. Because
Can't hear fucking shit. we're underwater right now.
You can't hear it, but I'm recording locally, which you probably can't hear me say this, so the audience will have got what they needed to get. That's why I read it. All right, so that was Painkiller already, episode 281 with Jericho and Kyle. Thanks for tuning in, guys.